You know what? The hell with it. Let's just go live now. Main event is still going on. What's up, guys? This show feels like it's dragging, so you guys let me know if you can hear me. Roman just hit a spear on Joe. Let's see if this is it. No, foot on the rope. But yeah, this show was dragging out so long, I figured I'd just come up now. Let's start talking. Let me know you can hear me, alright? Because I didn't do any sound checks. Sounds good to me. Alright, so Joe and Roman are laying in the ring. It's main event right now. We are 23 past the hour. Show's running very long. And we should be coming close to the finish here. Yeah, but Roman and Joe main eventing tonight. How about that, huh? What's up, everybody in the chat who's here early? I'm sitting here watching this, and I've got everything kind of ready, and I'm like, is this match and this pay-per-view ever going to end? So, like, let's just go up now. Get a head start. I still don't know who's going to win this thing. We got another clutch on Joe, or on Roman here. Oh, he's got that pin. I was about to say, we saw Gable beat Jinder kind of like that. I mean, how about this pay-per-view? I mean, did it take a dive or what? I mean, it started off great. Matches were good. Crowd was hot. Oh, there's the clutch again. I mean, he's in the middle of the ring, too. How's Roman going to possibly survive this? I don't know, Michael Cole. What does Roman do? Roman's out. They gonna really ring the bell here? Oh, of course not. He's hulking up. I mean, I picked Roman to win this match. My predictions have been okay. Although we saw no title changes tonight at all. And I only predicted one. I thought Shinsuke was going to win the belt, but we know what happened there. So besides that one, the only other match I got wrong was Big Cass and Daniel Bryan. So I did better than I thought. And assuming Roman wins here, I don't know.
Don't change the game plan. Don't change the attack. Oh, he is. I think he just wants to punish Roman some more.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised the title match wasn't the main event, but if that's the finish they were going with, I guess I can see why they switched it. But still, dragging it out yet another pay-per-view.
Joe in the driver's seat.
I mean, we're going on 3.5 hours now of this pay-per-view. I mean, considering we just had Mania and the Greatest Royal Rumble in the last 3 or 4 weeks, they could have limited this to 3 hours and we would have been fine. Or at least get rid of that stupid skit with No Way Jose. I mean, I love seeing Elias out there, but that seemed like something they could have just done tomorrow on Raw. Uh-oh. I got a feeling we got a spear coming. Oh, there it is. Ooh, Joe took a good one. It's a pretty vicious spear. Good night, Joe. All right, the big dog wins. Big surprise. Fans are going to love that. Can't wait to read Twitter. Nobody's complaining about this show, right? Well, if we want to make this stream tonight shit on WWE Backlash, you know what? I'm all right with that. Sometimes pay-per-views are just bad, and tonight wasn't very good. But I want to give all of the credit tonight. If this pay-per-view had any bright spots at all, it all goes to The Miz and Seth Rollins. Because they opened up this show, and not one single match after that was able to follow it. Fucking amazing Intercontinental title match. They're doing that belt proud. I feel good about the IC title for the first time in fucking decades, it seems like. So I was happy with that match. Aside from that, a lot of everything else just kind of was just meh. And do I dare use the term glorified house show? That's what everybody was screaming about the greatest Royal Rumble. Well, what the fuck do you call this shit? Pretty much the same thing. So yeah, not the greatest pay-per-view, but shit happens. If you're coming here to see, to hear yelling and screaming, you're not going to hear that. But I just can't believe just the downward spiral. I was feeling good about the show. Had a good vibe to it. Crowd was hot. Miz and Seth Rollins tore the house down. Next thing you know, shit sucks. All right, Backlash is off the air. They're doing a talking smack, aren't they? Or a talking back or whatever the fuck. Oh, post show. Do we want to watch that? We don't want to watch that. Although I would like to watch you, Renee. God, you are just cute as shit. All right, goodbye, Renee. We're gonna do a stream here.
Event is still going up.
I'm just checking my audio. We all look good, sound good. What's up, everybody? Backlash is officially off the air. In case you are just clicking on this video now, I'm sure there are a lot of options of live streams going on right now on YouTube. People doing post-Backlash shows. So if you are joining me, I appreciate you hanging out. We'll have some fun tonight and discuss the show. And it's a good thing we have each other because this show wasn't much to look at. We literally saw nothing. Now, in my predictions, I only predicted one title change, but we got no title changes tonight, which was kind of surprising. So there's a couple surprising things about the show. Number one, we didn't get a couple of the outcomes we were expecting, and I would have never guessed that Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe would main event the show tonight. Wouldn't even have occurred to me. I just thought for sure that was going to have to go to AJ and Shinsuke Nakamura, but we saw what they did in that match. They did the double nut shot. They both nut shot at each other a couple times during the match, but then they both went for the kick, hit each other in the nuts at the same time, and they weren't able to answer the 10 count. But it was a no disqualification match. So when I look at this, what kind of a stipulation can they turn this into for the next go-around? Now, a lot of people are upset that, oh, it's dragging on. I'm going to defend dragging out this feud because, first of all, it's gone really fast. Don't forget, we had the greatest Royal Rumble immediately after WrestleMania. So technically, they've had 3 pay-per-view matches here in less than 1 month. So I know it feels like it's gone on for a while, but it really hasn't. I mean, these two guys, this was a dream match before the first time we saw it happen. So if they want to drag this out, I'm fine with it. We have 4,000 pay-per-views a month. You know, we have so much Raw and so much SmackDown every fucking week. There's plenty of time, you know, to do stuff. So if they want to drag this out one more pay-per-view, I'm all right with it. But considering the finishes that we've seen with the double countouts and AJ losing his temper and Nakamura and all of his nut shots, I don't know if the blow-off should be at Money in the Bank. I think the blow-off should be at Extreme Rules in July because then they can do a gimmick something or other, last man standing. I would love to see a Hell in the Cell, but I think WWE saves that now for their pay-per-view. But if they weren't doing that, then I would say put this match in the fucking cell. Ladder match would also be good, Yars. Good suggestion there. Some sort of a gimmick, though, but you got to think it's got to play into the nut shot. I mean, it's got, you know, you can't put balls on a pole. Can't be a fucking dick on a pole match. Dildo on a pole. Maybe it could be that. First dick blood match, you know, first person to rip off the nuts of the opponent wins or something. I don't know. So I don't know what kind of a gimmick they're going to do here, but considering we have Extreme Rules in July, I almost see it lasting until then. But next pay-per-view is Money in the Bank, so they might have to wrap up business there. So yeah, don't know what's going to happen. I guess that means it's another shot for Nakamura, and I still think he would win the belt. I mean, we got no resolution tonight, so we're going to get another feud. I don't think it's over. If we would have seen Nakamura beat tonight, then yeah, I think the feud would have been over. But, yeah, but that's the thing. I'm sorry, it should have ended there. No, like, who's to say that? Like, that's such a ridiculous opinion. Like, what's the big deal? I think it's just because it took people off guard and it's almost like it makes them mad or something. You know, there's no reason for this to end. I mean, it's gone through. I mean, these guys started off as baby faces facing each other. Nakamura just turned heel less than 1 month ago. Less than 1 month ago. And you just want to wrap everything up? Oh, it should have ended there. Do you not have enough respect for these two guys that you don't want to see this feud drag on for 2 months? 2 months is not even long. Unfortunately, in the 2 month span that they're feuding in, there's a lot of pay-per-views. So, like I said, they've already had 3 matches in less than a month. They were all high-profile matches, all pay-per-view matches. You know, and so I guess WWE wants to let them go a little bit longer. So there's still plenty of time for them to wrap up their shit, for Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe to get in the mix here. And I think it can be a fun summer, and I really don't care. I'm not one to complain about a match between Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles. There's been plenty of feuds that have dragged on a lot longer than this, and I say give these guys time. They've earned that. So the finish was a little hokey. I'm not necessarily defending the finish. I'm just defending WWE wanting to extend the feud, but I still think they could have with Nakamura winning the belt, because then AJ would get his return match. So now if you factor all that in and Shinsuke still wins the belt, then you do the AJ rematch. Well, shit. Now you're into SummerSlam. So I'm not saying this needs to drag on for another 2 months or anything, but it's kind of, I think it's just kind of foolish to insist, oh, that was stupid the way they're doing it. I didn't really enjoy the finish of the match, but as far as the feud continuing, it's not something I'm going to complain about. But there's too damn many pay-per-views, and we saw that tonight. WWE basically used Backlash. They used us. They used and abused us. They used the show as just a way to get through some of these matches and move on, and everybody had to go out there and kill themselves, including AJ and Shinsuke, including Seth and Miz and Roman and Joe, and they just went out there and brutalized each other. Poor AJ took a chair to the cheek and busted himself open. I mean, just awful. And it was all really, at the end of the day, for nothing, because nothing was really resolved. We're right where we were, prior to last week. So, with the interpromotional matches, it was the same thing. They just had to end them, with Seth and Roman Reigns getting the victories there. So there's nowhere to go there. So now I guess we're moving on to new feuds and new storylines. And, yeah, I don't know. But I'm going to give this pay-per-view... Oh, shit, I forgot to put up the poll. Damn it, I had it sitting here and I forgot. Anyway, I would probably give this pay-per-view, rate it out of a 10. I'm going to give 4 points to Seth and The Miz, and I'm going to give 1 point to the surprising finish of Carmella and Charlotte. Even though I predicted Carmella to win, I didn't think she'd just win the match, basically clean. Still, it's kind of mind-blowing to me, but I'll give that a point just for, shock value. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Everything else from there, it was like, down the shitter. Down the shitter. But what do you think, besides Seth Rollins and The Miz, obviously, what was the best match on the show? Nothing. I mean, the Braun Strowman and Lashley match just felt horrible. Flat. Fans didn't give a shit at all, even with Strowman out there. Sammy and Kevin Owens couldn't get along. And, Strowman and Lashley got the victory and celebrated together. And I did see somebody had tweeted out, I forgot who it was. I guess the referee on the outside of the ring at the end of the match was yelling at Strowman to scream, going, "Scream, scream!" And then Strowman did his big loud scream, which I thought was hilarious. By the way, welcome to those of you who might just be clicking over here now. We've got a pretty small, oh no, we got a decent audience in there. And thank you to everybody for all the support. We did pass 19,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel yesterday or something. So subscribe if you've not yet already. Next stop, 20,000, and I'm hoping to get there in like a month. So if you're watching now and you've never seen me before, I got a podcast. It's great. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe to my channel. You won't be disappointed. And I'm up here live after every pay-per-view and lately doing live watch-alongs on Monday nights for Raw. But we're going to review still Backlash. I'm not going to ignore it. I mean, I know the show wasn't good, but we still have a lot to talk about. Roman Reigns, of course, got the victory in the main event. And that was not that surprising there. I didn't see Roman Reigns going down again. And I mentioned in my previous couple of podcasts that I didn't like the match because it doesn't serve anybody any purposes. I mean, I guess WWE just wants to give Roman Reigns a big victory following all of his Brock Lesnar beatdowns. But I just don't, do you need to do that to Samoa Joe right as he's going over to SmackDown? And he's going to be in the world title picture over there, you would imagine. And I would love to see Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles and eventually Nakamura and Bryan and all the great matches you can do over there. I just wish they would have left Samoa Joe out of that match. And if they were going to beat somebody, beat Big Cass or something like that. Put Roman in there with somebody like that. So it's probably not going to do Samoa Joe any favors, but it was not a surprising finish. I pretty much thought in that match that Roman was going to pick up the win there. And he's going to move on to face Brock again. So we've got Brock and Roman extending, and we've got Nakamura and AJ likely going another show, unless they do the rematch on SmackDown. I mean, I'm trying to think here. What is Brock Lesnar? Is he advertised for Money in the Bank? If Brock Lesnar has a match at Money in the Bank, maybe they don't do 2 title matches. Maybe they do a title match between Shinsuke and AJ on SmackDown. Maybe they even do a title change on SmackDown. AJ won it on SmackDown, right? What are you talking about, Catherine? Top model reruns. Oh, Jesus. Did you drink a pink margarita while watching that show? Of course you did. Yeah, Spectre, I agree. I kind of thought that, Samoa Joe might move into a feud with AJ Styles if AJ lost the belt. If he lost and then maybe had his rematch and wrap things up with Shinsuke, he could then go on and challenge Joe or feud with Joe. And then maybe Shinsuke could start something with Daniel Bryan. Once Daniel Bryan maybe has a match with The Miz next. And that match would be great for SummerSlam. Champion Shinsuke versus challenger Daniel Bryan. But with him not winning now, that could change everything. So, who knows? I'm almost looking ahead. I'm looking past 2 pay-per-views here just because I'm curious what they're going to do at SummerSlam as far as the title matches go. So, yeah. Yeah, Carmella looked pretty good in that outfit. I cannot believe she beat Charlotte like that. Now, I expected... It's funny, I predicted Carmella to win, but I was still shocked by the finish. I thought for sure the Iconics were going to come out there because they were involved a lot in the video package. They crashed the pre-show, cut a promo there. So I kind of thought they were going to make an appearance in that match and just help Carmella escape, because she has to escape at least one pay-per-view, as champion. I mean, she doesn't match up to Charlotte, obviously, but I think it would have been dumb just to take the belt off of her right away. Like I said earlier, we have 4,000 pay-per-views a year. No reason why Carmella can't survive at least one show and then maybe lose it at the next one, or, God forbid, hang on to it until SummerSlam. That would be a pretty long run, longer than I would have expected for her, but at least we needed to see, I think, her survive one pay-per-view. So she did, but she essentially beat Charlotte clean. What happened? Charlotte jumped off the rope, buckled her knee or something, and then Carmella rolled her up kind of for the surprise 3 count. Crazy. But I'm not bitching. I'm a Charlotte mark, but I don't care. It's a surprising finish. I actually gave it a solid point there just for shocking me. But, I give a shit. Bubanator, how was Cobra Kai? Later on, we'll talk about the pay-per-view first, and then later on, as we're just chatting, and only the craziest of the crazies are still in here hanging out, I'll talk about Cobra Kai. Watch the whole damn series, all 10 episodes in 2 nights. I grew up on the Karate Kid, man. It was crazy, some of that stuff, but I'll talk about that later. We got to talk about Backlash first. I mentioned on Twitter today it should be called Backwash, considering all the wrestling we've had with the 7-hour WrestleMania show and the 5-hour Greatest Royal Rumble show, and now nearly 4 hours of Backlash, all, within less than a month's time. It's too much. Burn out. We need a break. Shoot me a follow over on Twitter too if you have not yet already. I'm over here checking shit out, seeing if I got any new tweeties. So 2% of the people that have voted on my Backlash poll, 100 votes in 7 minutes, so go over there and vote. 2% enjoyed it right now. So yeah, this pay-per-view got bad grades from everybody. Horrible shit. So we've talked about the main event, the goofy finish between AJ and Nakamura. And AJ, he's lucky with that chair shot to the face. I'm so glad that didn't hit him in the nose or the teeth or something. That injury could have been a lot worse. Took it, looked like right on his cheekbone. Cut him open. That was a pretty brutal shot. The Samoa Joe Roman Reigns match came off boring. The fans were over it by that point. I was tired as hell. I was sick of it. I even came up here early and just watched the end of the match because I was sick of waiting around for the pay-per-view to end. So that match wasn't much. The Strowman and Lashley tag match was literally nothing to talk about. Probably the most boring that Strowman has been in months. So, I know, right? Finally hit 19K. I know. Been on YouTube for quite a while, and I'm growing slow. I'm finally now growing at the pace that I would like. You know, in the last like 6 months or so, I feel like I've really picked up a lot of steam. You know, 1,000+ subscribers a month. You know, going pretty hard here, but it took me a long time just to get to fucking 20,000. So I feel like it's going to start growing a little bit quicker. I'll blink and probably be at 30,000 before you know it. So that's the goal. So those last kind of like 3 matches there, I thought just really, you know, were kind of letdowns. And what was the order of those, by the way? Let me pull up my notes. Yeah, so we had Joe and Roman, and then we had Lashley and Strowman winning, and then before that was AJ and Nakamura double countout or whatever. So yeah, those 3 matches kind of really put the pay-per-view on a decline. Carmella beating Charlotte, I actually did like. I mentioned that. Daniel Bryan did tap out Big Cass. I predicted Big Cass to win here. I didn't think either guy was going to get beat. I thought maybe The Miz would come out and help out Big Cass for some reason, and maybe begin an alliance with those two. And since Big Cass just got there and WWE obviously wants to push him as a monster, I didn't think he was going to lose tonight. But Daniel Bryan tapped his ass out. This big bully douchebag, Big Cass, gets tapped out by Daniel Bryan, and then, you know, kind of reignites his heat at the end of the match, basically, by attacking Daniel Bryan and beating him up. Beating him up pretty good. And leaves to a chorus of boos, and I guess that issue is going to continue, but I don't know why. I mean, Daniel Bryan faced him and tapped him out. Just because Cass attacked him after the match, I don't know if they're even going to do a rematch here. They probably will, and that's when Cass will get the victory. They'll probably do another one, and maybe that's when The Miz will get involved, because did you notice The Miz did talk to Bo Dallas and Kurt Axel tonight? I think it was on the pre-show, because it was a co-branded show, so they were there, and Miz tried to, I guess, recruit him to have his back tonight, but they refused. So we were not going to get a Miz-Taraj reunion, which is a shame. But I can't believe that it went that quickly. The match was kind of shorter than I thought, too. So Bryan got the victory there, and I'm certainly not going to complain about that. I just thought it was something that they weren't going to do, beating Cass like that. But I'm sure he'll get a victory over Daniel Bryan, probably on TV tomorrow, or I'm sorry, on Tuesday, or maybe even next week, you would think. But glad D-Bry got the victory here tonight clean. Always happy to see that. And Chris Ludecki, thanks, man, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Are they turning Kevin Owens face? I forgot to mention that. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, I guess, in the tag match, they were kind of arguing because Zayn was trying to leave. Zayn was trying to escape, get himself intentionally counted out. Owens was getting pissed. Eventually, what happened? Zayn, I think, threw Owens into the ring. He tossed him into the ring all by himself to get killed by Strowman and Lashley pinned him with the vertical, which I hate as his finisher, by the way. Not my favorite. But I guess maybe this could be the beginning. I think they should probably break these guys up, because as a team, where do they have left to go? They lost at WrestleMania. Seems like they're humiliated every week on TV. They lost last week on Raw too, right? And then they lost here to Strowman and Lashley. So yeah, what do you do with them at this point? I say break them up. Seth Rollins, now that he's done with The Miz, is probably going to need another opponent. He also beat Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw. So who's he going to work with? Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn might be a good option there too. So I'm hoping I think Kevin Owens as a face would be fun, because he's so good on the mic, and I think he can be entertaining as shit if they do turn him face. Jeff Hardy defeated Randy Orton completely clean in a match. I did predict Jeff to retain. Wasn't sure if it was going to be a completely clean win. I thought maybe Shelton Benjamin would run out there or something like that. And I didn't think, I didn't know who he was going to help. And I thought Randy Orton might hit the RKO on Jeff and have him beat, and then, Benjamin comes out there and fucks the whole thing up. Who knows? But that's not what happened. Jeff retained the title, and I'm happy. And they did well. I mean, those guys are veterans. I mean, they're not who they were in 2008. I mean, remember their feud for the world title. Jeff was a different competitor back then. So was Randy Orton. Although Randy Orton is just as athletic now as he was back then. Did you see that drop kick he threw tonight I think Jeff Hardy was like on the outside of the ring standing on the ropes, and Orton got his legs all the way up and hit Jeff Hardy right in the face. Picture perfect drop kick. And Randy Orton is what, 38 years old? Pushing 40? Doing shit like that. So I think they adjusted to their age and their style, realizing they probably aren't who they were in the ring 10 years ago, and put on a pretty decent match. And Jeff Hardy, man, he does not hit those swantons as smoothly as he used to, and now he just lands right on the motherfucker. And squashes him. So Randy Orton took the clean pin there. Between the battle of two guys that have had a lot of wellness policy violations between the two of them, that might be a record for two guys in the ring that have been in trouble more than them. Pretty funny shit. Nia Jax did defeat Alexa Bliss as well. That match was more competitive than I thought. Alexa did put up a good fight, and it wasn't a bad match per se, and I'm perfectly fine with Nia retaining. I predicted that she would. I figured she had to do that. She just won the belt at WrestleMania. Didn't think she was going to drop it here. But it kind of got stupid at the end when she cut that cringy-ass promo. Just way too happy and scripted, and I hope this can be a lesson to everybody that was bullied. I mean, WWE's trying to, this whole storyline is trying to send a message, I guess, to young people and bullies and shit like that. But it was just so horribly done. I just didn't like it. John Cena has never even cut a promo that lame before, and just came across bad. Didn't like it, and kind of ruined the moment for me, but whatever. And I kind of agree, who said that? Black Bolt. I think Alexa should have gotten squashed. Or maybe not squashed, but maybe Nia winning in a more brutal of a way. Maybe if Alexa does put up a fight, and they want to give Alexa a little bit of offense, maybe they do a spot near the finish of the match where she has Nia Jax in the corner and then she slaps her and it triggers Nia Jax into this murderous rage and she just goes apeshit. Remember how she went nuts in the dressing room on Raw a few weeks back? So if she did that but in the ring and just beat the piss out of Alexa and just murdered her and smeared her face in the mat and pinned her aggressively for 1, 2, 3, that would have worked too. Yeah, rarely even. I will watch Cobra Kai, but I won't watch Breaking Bad. The reason I watch Cobra Kai is because it's nostalgia for me. There was no Breaking Bad movie back in 1984. No, I didn't pick that show to watch it just for the hell of it. I predicted it, or I watched it because I have fond memories of it, and I liked it. Nia Jax squashing Alexa coming across as a fat joke. No, I don't know. I mean, I thought Alexa did a good job in all those little moments of bliss segments and shit. The way she talked about Nia laughing at her with 2 turkey legs in her hand just cracked me up. So funny. But yeah, I mean, that match wasn't surprising either. And so that one was easy to predict. I felt like most of them were. And then Seth Rollins and The Miz, of course, I thought was another really easy one to predict. But boy, did they make up for it. After the match that Seth Rollins and Balor had on Monday Night Raw, The Miz and Seth, they follow that and pretty much have equally as good of a match. Unbelievable. I mean, that started off the pay-per-view on such an amazing note. The crowd was hot for it. I mean, everybody was chanting, "This is awesome." And I just can't believe how good The Miz has gotten. All the near falls in that I thought was great. Miz is proving that he's one of the best in the business. I mean, I cannot believe that. I put out on Twitter, I said, somebody go tell 2007 me that in 2018, The Miz would be considered one of the most talented people in all of wrestling. I would have looked at you like you were fucking out of your mind. But here he is, just dazzling us, and in a losing effort here, really put on a hell of a match with Seth Rollins. And I think the match was just as good as Rollins and Balor on Monday, and that was a damn good match. So think about that. Seth Rollins has had 3 successful title defenses on pay-per-view and one on Monday Night Raw against Finn Balor in less than 1 month's time. And every one of those matches have been incredible. Mania was good. The ladder match at the Greatest Royal Rumble was great. The finish was awesome in that. And his match with Finn Balor on Raw was amazing. And then the one here tonight at Backlash against The Miz was phenomenal. I mean, every one of his matches have been totally solid. He is doing that Intercontinental title proud. He's doing it equally as proud as a fighting babyface as The Miz did as a cocky, arrogant heel. I mean, they're both so good. And that whole match right there made the pay-per-view for me. Incredible way to start off Backlash. But unfortunately, after that, went to shit. Went to complete bullshit, as Rashad Sims says it was. But yeah, I agree with you guys. Not a good pay-per-view tonight. So if you want to shit on it, go right ahead and shit on it. Does not bother me. I didn't really enjoy the pay-per-view any more than you did. And a lot of people kind of forgot that there even was a pay-per-view. I mean, maybe WWE took that into consideration. Maybe they thought there was going to be less people watching this particular pay-per-view because we just had the Greatest Royal Rumble, you know, a week ago or whatever. And WrestleMania was just a couple of weeks before that, so we're pay-per-viewed out. So maybe WWE didn't want to give us anything too big for this show, considering, you know, people are kind of over it. So drag it out. And we got Money in the Bank up next. I'm really glad we're going back to the... I mean, basically now WWE is back to the 12 pay-per-view format, which is good. I think technically it's 16 if you add the 4 NXT shows, but as far as the main roster goes, I'm so happy that there's not a SmackDown one, then a Raw one, and this might actually turn out to be better. And I think Money in the Bank is, I forgot the date on it, but I think we have longer than a month. So I think we have 5 weeks, I think, until Money in the Bank. So that's a nice big stretch there, and WWE is going to have a lot of time to kill on Raws and SmackDowns. And I wouldn't be surprised at all in the next couple of weeks we're bitching that, oh, this week's SmackDown, nothing happened at all. It was so fucking boring. Sorry, I'm fixing my keyboard. You know, completely skippable show, meaningless, glorified house show, whatever you want to call it. I think we're going to hear that a lot in the next 5 weeks because there's just a lot of TV time to fill until we get to the next pay-per-view. But luckily, with Money in the Bank, it sets you up all sorts of qualifying match possibilities. So you know we're going to see that on Raw and SmackDown. And I'm guessing Money in the Bank is going to be a co-branded match, correct? Am I right about that? It has to be, right? So that means a Raw or SmackDown competitor can win the belt. And I wonder if they open up that rule. You know, are they going to let, if somebody wins it, are they allowed to challenge whoever they want? Kind of like Shinsuke did after the Royal Rumble. Brew McCain Productions Iron Man match for the world title. There must be a winner. I'm guessing you mean that for Shinsuke and AJ. The only problem with that, I mean, I guess maybe you could mean that for Brock and Roman, but if you mean it for Shinsuke and AJ, the only problem with that is tonight it was a no disqualification match. So technically, you could do the same finish even in an Iron Man match. And I get, what would they just do? Just let the time run out because neither guy can compete? I don't know. I don't even know if that would guarantee a winner because you would think a no DQ match would guarantee a winner, and we didn't get one. So I almost think, I don't know what the hell they're going to do there. Wait until Extreme Rules. I think the ladder match or last man standing match idea could work, but then again, what if they both don't answer the 10 count? No man stands. Then what do you do? Man, this pay-per-view. Pay-per-view's making me drink. I'm going to get a beer. Who wants one? Well, considering all the wrestling we've gotten, I can't say that I'm all that surprised that we got a shitty show tonight. I mean, what did we expect, really? So, there's just so much fucking wrestling. But as far as the show being subpar tonight, I don't care. You know, I'm not pissed. Like, what do I care? Like I said, The Miz and Seth Rollins killed it. Aside from that, what's the big deal? Moving on, right? Money in the Bank is up next. Money in the Bank is always fun. And let the speculation begin. Throw me your candidates. Who's going to win Money in the Bank this year? I mean, we have to have... How many guys are usually in it? 8 or 6? I think it's 8. So 4 SmackDown guys, 4 Raw guys. Who's going to win it? A Raw guy or a SmackDown guy? And how long will they hold it for? And when will they cash it in? A lot to think about here. And you got to think about, like, you don't want to necessarily just automatically give the briefcase to just the biggest contender that you currently have. I say give it to somebody fun. You know, I mean, I know the Baron Corbin thing wound up ridiculous, but I kind of like it when guys like Corbin win, or, you know, Jack Swagger, even though none of these careers ever panned out. I think you give it to somebody that's not necessarily already a contender, instead of somebody that you would expect. Even a guy like Drew McIntyre, I don't know if I would want to see him with the briefcase. I would not want to see Drew in that character position of having to tease at cash in all the time, you know, and win the title in kind of a shitty way. I don't even think Drew McIntyre needs the briefcase. Give it to somebody who can have fun with it and isn't boring with it. Chad Gable would be a great... I was just trying to think of examples. And Mac Tonight, Chad Gable would be an excellent candidate to win the Money in the Bank. Somebody like him. Because I just think they could have a lot of fun with Gable. And he's so fast and weird and spazzy, you know, if you put the briefcase with him, he can have all sorts of fun with it. I don't want to see Jason Jordan have the briefcase. My God. Well, maybe if he gets the briefcase, he can open it up, and maybe there will be some charisma in there that he can take. Other than that, I just don't want to see him with the briefcase. Don't even say that. Andrade Cien Almas is another guy that I wouldn't mind seeing him with the briefcase. I guess that would be fun. Seeing Zelina hold it. She can probably she can make a briefcase sexy, I guarantee you that. But again, with him, I think he's being brought in already with so much, you know, so much hype. I don't know if he necessarily needs to be running around with a briefcase either. If you ask me, I say keep Almas out of the Money in the Bank match completely. I think he'll probably be in it, but I say keep him out. Just push him on his own. You know, let him work his way up the card. I think they're going to treat him like a big deal. Hopefully he'll do more on SmackDown than Bobby Roode did. And they don't just force, you know, a U.S. title onto him. But I almost think if Andrade comes in, you know, when he gets there, considering who they already have in the world title picture, because there's 4 big names there, with Joe, Bryan, Shinsuke, and AJ. So I think Andrade might come in, and since I just mentioned that about Bobby Roode, I think Almas might be a good candidate to take the U.S. belt off of Jeff Hardy. Or maybe Randy Orton. If Randy Orton winds up beating Hardy in the future, maybe Almas will be the guy. But I don't know if you, even though I totally think Almas's world title material, I don't know if there's room for him right now. At this moment in time on SmackDown. Might take a couple months, might have to wait till the fall, beginning of next year, before he starts getting top of the card opportunities. And Catherine, shut up about No Way Jose. Are you crazy? Let his posse carry around the briefcase. Are you trying to kill me? You know that video of crazy people reacting to bad wrestling finishes and like throwing chairs at their TVs? I'll film one of me doing that if No Way Jose wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. My 42-incher right here is kind of old. Maybe I'll smash it and get a new one. So if No Way Jose wins, I'll make a video. How Wheezy, do I think Almas will be a bigger star than Del Rio? I want him to be a bigger star than Del Rio. Whether or not he will be or not, that's up to WWE. So hopefully they're not idiots. And Almas, you know, keeps doing his thing because he's good in the ring. His presentation and character is great. And I love Zelina. Oh, my God. So bring him up. Don't treat him like a piece of shit. Don't treat him like Rusev. Take him seriously. And as long as WWE stays motivated in their pushing of Almas, he'll do just fine. Oh, I can just drink a pink margarita during the live stream? If that happens, okay. That means I gotta go buy shit, though. I don't want to go to the store and buy pink stuff. Tequila's fine. But nothing pink. I'll just blend up one of my Bret Hart dolls into the margarita. And that'll be the pink and black margarita attack. You know, X Spectre, I'll give you credit on that one. If you were going to give that briefcase to a top-tier talent, Finn Balor might be the guy because he's got a built-in story there. And I can already guarantee you he will qualify for the Money in the Bank. He can say, God damn it, WWE, it's been a year, and you still have not given me, or has it been more than a year? It's been 2 years. Whatever the fuck it was. You still have not given me my Universal title rematch. So I guess I just got to go out and win the briefcase. That's the only way I can get it. So since he's already lost clean to Seth Rollins on Raw, and he's kind of out of the IC title picture, at least for now, I would think, winning the briefcase would be perfectly fine with me. And then if he turns heel with it, that would be even better. Let him win the briefcase as a babyface. But who's he going to cash it in on? He's going to have to hold it for a while. Balor will probably have to remain babyface for a while. And I'm talking Survivor Series at the earliest. And let Brock Lesnar get defeated by a babyface. Strowman or Roman. Probably still Roman. And then Roman holds it. And then he's interrupted by Balor, who comes out and turns fucking heel and reforms the Bullet Club or something. Beats the shit out of Roman Reigns, wins the title, turns heel. Crowd would love it. I don't know how they do that, though. He'd be a heel and the crowd would be cheering their asses off. But yeah, I'd be into that. That would be a fun idea. I just want them to have some fun with it. Last year, was it last year with the whole Corbin debacle? Or was that the year before? The years just fucking run together for me, I swear to God. But that Corbin shit was ridiculous, so try to have a little bit more fun with it. Carmella held that briefcase for so long. I'd like to see them do that with the men this time. Because Corbin cashed it in pretty quick, right? Drew, pretty much, yeah. Charlotte did lose clean. She landed a move, or she jumped off the rope or something, buckled her knee, and Carmella just pinned her back, rolled her up, and caught a quick 3 count. So pretty good. I'm actually fine with that. Dude, what the fuck, dude? I'm doing a stream. Yeah, good audience in here too. So what's up, everybody? Not you. I'm not saying what's up to you. All right, cool. Yeah, it was last year, right? Sorry, I'm just checking everything over here. Yeah, how's it going, buddy? Why do you do this every time I stream? You never come over here otherwise. So say hi to everybody, since you're going to walk right in my lap. Sit down. Sit down. So I guess in the next 5 weeks on Raw and SmackDown, we're going to get all these qualifying matches. So trying to think who's in the title situation now. You got to think that AJ and Shinsuke are going to continue, so maybe you rule out Shinsuke for the Money in the Bank. He might get another match against AJ. So on the SmackDown side of things, you know, you got to think who you want to put in there. And you have to be careful. You don't want to automatically just say, Daniel Bryan. Well, only put Daniel Bryan in there if you want Daniel Bryan to win it. And Daniel Bryan is a guy that I don't think needs the briefcase. I think he can get a title shot on his own. So I would almost like to see Daniel Bryan work with either Big Cass or The Miz at Money in the Bank. But maybe put one of those two guys in the Money in the Bank. Whoever works with Daniel Bryan, whether it's Big Cass in a rematch or whether it's The Miz, put the other one in the Money in the Bank. So on SmackDown, you can have, like, let's say The Miz. I don't know if you would put Randy Orton in there or not. You'd probably put Samoa Joe in there as well, I'm guessing. Over on Raw, got to put Finn Balor, obviously. I just don't know. You know, you don't want to put too many big-name stars in there because they're going to have to lose the match if they have one winner in mind or whatever. So there's some guys I'd rather not see in there if they were going to lose. So no, Drew, I haven't mentioned that yet. But yes, of course, I'll be watching Okada and Omega 4. And I saw Jericho is back in New Japan. And I still have. I've been subscribed to New Japan World ever since the January show. And haven't canceled it. So I'll be checking it out. Oh, my God. Tell me about it, man. Carmella with that screaming tonight. Goddamn. I mean, it was kind of funny. I'm the champion. I'm the champion. All the dumb shit she was saying. But she is one annoying human being. Imagine how annoying she is drunk, just in a bar, wasted. Oh my God. Hurricane Carmella. I hate her theme song. I really just don't like Carmella very much at all. Never have. WWE seems to like her. She didn't put on a horrible performance against Charlotte. She's nothing compared to Charlotte, but she put on a better match than I thought she would. And she ended up getting that victory there. So, wow. Another finish I was thinking for that match, I thought maybe that the Iconics would come out and try to interfere and Charlotte would try to fight them off. And then Asuka would come down to the ring to help, or to quote help. And then maybe accidentally nail Charlotte with a kick or something if she's in there trying to run off the Iconics, costing Charlotte the match. Maybe setting up, you know, an eventual rematch between those two, and you know that's going to happen. That might be your SummerSlam match right there. Asuka and Charlotte, part 2. I thought we might see Dean Ambrose tonight, considering Roman Reigns was in the main event. I was like, well, maybe if they're going to have Samoa Joe win, maybe Dean Ambrose shows up randomly and turns heel, costs Roman the match. But I don't know when he's due back. You guys can probably inform Mac tonight when Dean's coming back. Catherine, he is fast asleep right now, and I hope he stays gone. I don't like being bothered by these guys. How Wheezy, I love the Iconic duo. I like them a lot. They crashed the pre-show. I watched a little bit of that. I think Peyton Royce, oh my god. She's my new Nikki. But on top of that, she's not horrible on the mic. I mean, they're a little bit of they're an obnoxious act, but that's kind of their gig. And they do a good job with it. Yeah, I can see Asuka eventually turning on Charlotte also. They can build to that, you know, because they're so friendly on TV. I don't think you just automatically do that overnight. Maybe you have a little miscommunication first and, you know, something that kind of teases it and then you do it. I don't know. But yeah, I'd have no problem with Asuka just going heel. Fine with me. Oh, that's how long Ambrose is out? 9 months? So some of you are saying September, August, December. So basically not yet is what you guys are saying. Later on this year. Dean is collecting a check and sticking it to Renee Young. Why would he want to come back? For a bigger check. He's getting downside money right now, I'm sure, with this injury. So he's probably got every reason to want to come back. He didn't get a WrestleMania paycheck this year. Yeah, I think Dean Ambrose, part of me wonders what you do with him. Because I think it would be fun to turn him heel, but do you bring him back because you know he's going to get a huge pop and a huge reaction when he finally does return, and he's going to be very over, but you know, because we know who Dean Ambrose is, we know that that is going to wear off. Like, it's only going to last for so long. So do you bring him back, let the fans cheer for him, get it out of their system, eventually they'll be bored with him again, and then turn him heel, or do you bring him back? Who was it? I want to say it was Chris Benoit. Remember Chris Benoit came back in whatever year it was on Raw, got a huge ovation. I mean, crowd went nuts for him. And then in the very same segment, he turned heel. I say do that with Dean. Give him the big ovation, but then have him turn heel and surprise everybody right there. Don't build to it. Don't set it up. Just do it. No, I didn't see Camp WWE. That's on the network right now, right? Didn't that air immediately after the post show? So yeah, no, I might check it out. I only saw like 1 or 2 episodes of the previous season. But I'll check it out. Looks funny as hell. No, that would be stupid to repackage Dean Ambrose as John Moxley. That would be a whole lot of... That would cost a lot of money to rebrand him. Change his merch, change his name. All that crap. He can be more like him, but changing his name would be ill-advised. Yeah, but if he wants to channel some of that old Moxley attitude into his current character, fuck yeah. But you can't be changing his name. You can't change No Way Jose's name either. Unless you change it to I Don't Give a Shit Jose. That would be fine. Yeah, Chris, I like your idea. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Roman Reigns is going to win both the men and the women's briefcases. I say Roman Reigns cashes in on Nia Jax. Nails her with a spear. It's like, sorry, cuz. My title now. And then The Rock comes out and he doesn't know whose hand to raise. That would be funny. What's going on, buddy? No. You're going to go down here now. Go on. See ya. Go on. There you go. Man, I wouldn't mind seeing. That would be pretty good. Heel Asuka in black. Like her just wearing all black. She's very colorful. I like her look, but all black might be fun. And slightly hot. I don't know. I'm just having fun with poor Jose. I understand what the character's there to do. At the end of the day, I really don't have a problem with it. He's just an entertainment act, but Jesus. When he came out tonight, I was like, motherfucker. And that's something I didn't even talk about, that whole segment. I loved seeing Elias out there. That was great. He's awesome. They were in Jersey, so he says that he's better than Bruce Springsteen and that Bruce calls him the boss, which I thought was hilarious. And then he gets interrupted like 5 different times. Once by the New Day, which was fine. If anybody's going to interrupt Elias, I'm fine with Big E. Big E had the drum. Kofi was going to town on the cymbals, and Xavier had the trumpet or whatever the fuck. And who else came out there? Everybody came out there. And who came out before No Way Jose? I think it was or Titus Worldwide was with No Way Jose. They were with his entourage, and somebody else came out too. It was just a complete mess. And a ridiculous segment that could have easily been done on Raw. They could have done the exact same thing tomorrow night on Raw. So I don't know what the point of any of that was. But the one bright spot in that was Elias, because he was as entertaining as always. But yeah, the segment just kind of had me scratching my head. Why did Alexa get fake boobs? She's already perfect. I don't know. I've known completely beautiful women to get fake boobs. And I've never thought that they've needed them. But they do it. If I was a chick, I probably would too. Get myself a rich husband. Oh yeah, we had I just saw Ruby Riott on here. We did have Ruby Riott defeating Bayley on the kickoff as well. So we had Riott getting a victory against Sasha on Raw and Bayley on the kickoff. So that's good for her. And I guess eventually we got to get to this stupid fucking match between Sasha and Bayley. And I just don't know when it... I mean, ugh. Are they going to hold this off till SummerSlam? We got 12 more weeks of this nonsense. Are they friends? Are they not friends? Do not care. Unless we see a heel turn here, I literally give less than a shit what happens between Sasha and Bayley. If it's just a babyface match or two friends working out their issues, I don't care who wins at all. I say turn Bayley heel, turn her into an emo slut. Oh my god. Fucking dark makeup, black lipstick. Turn her into Ruby Riott. Have her join the Riot Squad. Drew Gilmore, isn't Peyton Royce dating Ty Dillinger? I didn't know that. It's going to be a shame to have to kill Ty Dillinger. Anybody have his address? I like him. Oh, it's going to be such a shame. It's going to be a shame for him because he won't see me coming. But I like him. I don't want to have to hurt him. But if he's with Peyton, he must be eliminated. Thank you for that generous super chat there, Rice Jones. I appreciate that. You would think that Charlotte, Asuka, and Rousey, if she's in it, are the favorites to win the women's ladder match. Also, maybe they have AJ drop the title in England, same place he won it. I like that idea. That's why I pitched the idea of AJ dropping in Saudi Arabia, because I thought winning it in England and losing it there would be fun. But if they hold it off until the next tour, and you guys had already told me when that was, but I forgot already, and that might be a good idea. Have AJ drop it over there. Why not? The thing about what you said about the ladder match, though, is what I talked about earlier with the men's match. I don't think you necessarily need to give it to one of those three ladies. Charlotte and Asuka and Rousey are all basically the three biggest women's names that you have. They're going to get title shots regardless of if they have a briefcase or not. Rousey on her name recognition alone, Charlotte on being the queen, Asuka for not losing more than one match in her entire life. I think the briefcase needs to be there for somebody, to make a new champion. They're going to get their opportunities. Charlotte and Asuka are both going to be champions this year. I have no doubt. Rousey will get there, and she's going to be involved in really high-profile matches in every pay-per-view that she's in. So I think the briefcase needs to go to somebody, maybe not even like Becky. It needs to go to somebody like a Ruby Riott. Like I mentioned earlier, Ruby Riott, I think, would be a fun briefcase holder because she's got the Riott Squad with her. She's got backup. They can interfere on her behalf all the time, and she can do a shitload of teases. So Ruby Riott might be my early pick for the women's ladder match, but I don't think you need to give it to a big name. There's no reason for Charlotte. Charlotte doesn't need the briefcase to get a title match. She should just knock on the GM's door and say, hey, I'm fucking Charlotte. I would like a title match. And then they say, yes, Miss Charlotte, here you go. Here's your title match. So, same thing with John Cena. I always thought it was so ridiculous when he won the Money in the Bank. I'm like, why the fuck is John Cena winning the Money in the Bank? So it's kind of the same concept here. So I say give it to Ruby Riott. She's my early pick. Or Peyton Royce, because I just want to see her climb up the ladder. I'd be fine with Rusev winning the Money in the Bank as well. Evil Empress Asuka, that would be hot. No, rarely even. I don't watch Star Wars. Don't know much about it. I don't know much about anything. I wish I knew what all the fuss was about Infinity Wars, but I'm so comic book illiterate. So much emotion, and you guys were changed for life over that movie, and I'm jealous that I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about, because I don't know anything about that stuff. Well, we're only, I want the wrestling audience to stick around here. I'm not even an hour in yet. We'll get into the crazy shit later, but people who are stopping by this channel for wrestling, I'd like to talk about wrestling for them, because we got a pretty decent audience in here right now. We got over 200 people. By the way, smash that like button. Smash the fuck out of it. We've only got 65 likes. That's lame. We got to get at least 200. There's 230 of you watching. So hit me up with a like and subscribe if you have not yet already. Have we gained any subs tonight? A few. Couple dozen. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. Oh my god, I noticed that. I didn't think about that. Where was Mickie James? Was she advertised to be in the corner of Alexa Bliss? You would think she would be there anyway, advertised or not. And you're right, she wasn't out there. I don't know what the deal with that is. Huh. So we got you like Billie Kay more than Peyton Royce? I'm not saying Billie Kay is not unattractive at all, totally. But man, that Peyton, she's something else. Jordan Carg, you're at work. Brother, you miss nothing. Absolutely nothing. Don't worry about it. Just hang out in here. Go on a website and read the results. Oh, wait, I take that back. I'm sorry. Pull up the show on the WWE Network. Watch the first match. Watch the Intercontinental title match from bell to bell. Watch the whole thing. You'll love it. After that, shut off the pay-per-view, go online, and read the fucking results. Or hang out in here with us, and we'll talk about it. But the show was not very good. Overall, we've got a very poor response on the pay-per-view. And according to my poll that I put up, well, we don't quite have 200 votes on it yet. So go vote on that Twitter poll if you want. I'm going to retweet it. But right now, My Twitter poll, what did you think of WWE Backlash? I enjoyed it. I hated it. It was okay. And mayonnaise. So far, mayonnaise is in the lead with 45%, and only 4% enjoyed it. 29% hated it. 22% say it was okay. So you can't read these results unless you vote. So I just gave them away to you for free. Now you don't even have to click anything. But yeah, this pay-per-view is getting a very low grade. Imagine how bad this pay-per-view would be if we didn't have that match between Seth Rollins and The Miz. Imagine. Imagine. Thank you, Andy. Welcome to the family. We're a fun group of 300 people, I'll tell you that. But yeah, trying to approach 20,000 subs. I think we'll get there pretty quick. We're starting to finally move along here. These live streams and TVTrax has really helped my channel grow in the past year. So we'll get there. We'll start growing a lot faster now than we used to in the past. So I appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate you hanging out. Brian Mathis, when am I making my WWE debut? Tomorrow night on Raw. I'll be opening up the show. I'm going to be cutting a promo. And I'm going to be cutting the promo on Michael Cole. And I'm going to be also cutting the promo. I want everybody that was involved in WWE in that music video for the co-branded pay-per-views. I'm going to call them all out to the ring. I mean, production guys, cameramen, everything. And the WWE talent that was involved in that. I want to put them all in the ring. And I'm going to cut a promo individually on each and every one of them on what a lousy piece of shit they are. So tune in. It's going to be fun. And it's probably going to take the whole 3 hours. So catch me tomorrow night on Raw. Haven't decided on my theme song yet, what I'm going to come out to the ring to, but right now I'm leaning towards Mbop by Hanson. Yeah, Mbop by Hanson. That's what I'm going to come out to the ring to. Because it's just such a great song. And if you haven't heard it before, look it up. Rock out. Sean Gordon, I'd love to buy WCW from WWE. I don't know how much I got in my wallet. I might have $100 in my wallet. I know I got some cash in there, so if WWE will take that price, I would be happy to buy it. Other than that, it's about all I'm willing to pay for it. And that includes shipping. $80, $90 max for the rights to WCW. Come out to the coldest shoulder. Yeah, I should. That's just my, like, I have it all my presets in here. I should actually probably find a different some different break music to use. Which I'm going to get a beer here and take a 30-second break here in a second. But when I come back, we're going to discuss what I'm going to do for episode 500. It's on the horizon, man. We're on 497 tonight. 497. Having to waste an episode talking about this shitty pay-per-view. I mean, is it even worth reviewing, in a podcast form? I'll be up here this week for my normal episode, but what am I really going to say about the show? I mean, I'm just going to be like, yeah, it kind of sucked. Miz and Seth Rollins were awesome. Everything else sucked. End of review. X-Spector, thanks for the super chat. The WWE title does not feel mid-card to me, but it did kind of feel mid-card tonight. But I think that was only because of the finish they did. So, once that match did not main event, I actually wanted Shinsuke to lose because I don't think I would have liked it if Shinsuke won the title and it wasn't the main event. Not only for Shinsuke, but AJ has had a pretty impressive run. I mean, he's held that title for several months now. So for that title run to end and Shinsuke to be crowned, that to me should be a moment that should be the final match on the show. So if Shinsuke would have won, I think I would have actually been a little bit more upset. Now I don't care. Put the match, third to last, fine, whatever. Doing a shitty finish like that, it was probably best that match wasn't the main event. So it doesn't really bother me at all. But, whenever Shinsuke has his moment, I would like to see that close out a pay-per-view. Know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm going to take a quick break. I will be right back in just a second, and we'll talk about a whole bunch of shit, but I need a new beer. And if you guys want one, just let me know. I'll be back in a minute. I don't know why I muted my microphone there by accident. Which one I should drink here? I got Pacifico and I have Dos Equis. I don't know which one I want here. Let's do Dos Equis. Shit, where the hell is my... One moment, please. Please hold. Can't find all the shit that I need. Anyway, where were we? Did you guys all leave? I tried to time it. I was like 30-second break. That's all I need. I opened up 2 windows too. It is like 78 degrees outside. It's a fucking beautiful night. Beautiful night. I want to feud with No Way Jose, and I want to have Michael Cole be the special guest referee. I'm going to get myself disqualified. Intentionally. Come out to a Slipknot song? Hell no. Hanson. All the way Hanson. Has to be Hanson. I would kill Gilbert. What's the deal? We've got an Alexa Bliss injury. Wasn't aware of that shoulder injury, huh? I haven't read any injury reports. Kind of checking out a couple of websites here. Yeah. Now, did Nia Jax get booed during the match, or did she get booed during the promo? Because the promo was ass. I mean, goddamn. Am I going to review Dominion next month? I probably will. I watched... Why can't I remember the fucking name of the... What the fuck was the show in January? With Jericho and Omega. I reviewed that, or I watched that live. But yeah, I'll probably check it out and give some sort of a review on it. Worst pay-per-view this year, yeah, but the month is or the year's only 4 months in here, so yeah, I think so far this is the worst pay-per-view we've seen, but we could very well see another one. But chances are this will be the worst one. Oh yeah, Wrestle Kingdom, thank you. Because next we got Money in the Bank, that's always fun. Extreme Rules should be fun as well, and then it's SummerSlam. Last year's No Mercy was a pretty big show. It was in LA, right? And it was like Cena and Roman and Brock and Strowman, big matches. Then we got Hell in the Cell, that's usually good. And then we got Survivor Series, which is kind of a hit or miss. Sometimes, most of the time, Survivor Series sucks, and then every now and then we get a good one. Last year sucked, the year before was good. So yeah, I guess it still remains to be seen, but chances are Backlash was the worst. Or will be the worst. Checking my phone. Yeah, and episode 500, by the way, it's coming up. So, like, I didn't put any sort of special episode together or anything like that. So, what I'm thinking it's going to be is kind of like a two-part type of deal. It's going to pretty much follow the same format that I follow every week. So, it's going to be probably 2 weeks from now. I'll get the exact date here. Where are we now? We're on episode 497, right? And it is currently May 6th. So, this week, my podcast will be episode 498, which will be on Thursday, which will be the 10th. Then the week after that will be 499 on the 17th. So that means 3 weeks from now, on the 21st, that Monday night, when I do my live Raw watch-along, what's probably going to happen is on the 21st of May, the live Raw watch-along will kind of be like the 500 episode celebration type of thing. I'll come up here and watch Raw. Then when Raw is off the air, we'll talk about it. And then I'll sit up here for a couple of hours and we'll do a long, fun Q&A. Talk about anything you want and just hang out. And then a couple of days later, my regular podcast episode will come up, which will technically be episode 500. So I'm not going all out here, not doing anything crazy. I think in the live stream, I'll do, when I do the Q&A, I'll probably do some giveaways and shit like that, and we'll make it fun, and we'll make it longer and different than most of my my Raw live streams, but I didn't have time to put anything, too big together, so I figured it would kind of be a two-part deal, and I'll come up live, and we'll celebrate all these episodes that I've done, and then I'll be up a couple days later for my regular podcast, and it will be business as usual. So it will be a good chance for people to check me out, hopefully subscribe. I will do a lot of fun stuff. I'll give some shit away. I'll make sure I give my patrons on Patreon some special treatment. You guys can ask me anything you want. I'll put a post up there for patrons only, and I'll make sure to answer all of your questions and shit like that, and we'll have a good time. So that's really all I have planned for episode 500. Not much more I can really do or have time to do. And I got big plans for the end of the year, too. I mean, I'm working on a very big video, and I'm going to give myself 6 solid months to do it, and I'm really excited for it. So it should be a fun year. And by the time I get to the end of 2018, I would like to have somewhere between 25 and 30,000 subscribers. So that's my goal. That's what I'm shooting for this year. Otherwise, it's kind of like shit or get off the pot. If I'm not going to make it very big on YouTube, then how much longer should I really be doing this? You know what I mean? But I think I can hang around at least for 8 more years, and we'll see where things go. You see me 80 years old being on here? I can't work these gizmos and gadgets and live stream. If I'm sitting here at 80 years old doing this, that'll be a fun episode. Episode 9,500. I've officially been on YouTube for 58 years. Zane, I hope you're kidding. Greatest Survivor Series later this year. That would be funny. Tell me that's not a thing. And you're just joking and I can't figure out sarcasm. Funny tweets. Thank you for those tweets, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's if YouTube is still around. Well, if YouTube's not around, I guess I've got other options. I've got my website. I'm on podcast sites. I don't know anything about Twitch. Maybe I should look into that. Ancient mic work. I don't plan on leaving YouTube. The only thing that'll stop me from leaving YouTube is a catastrophic life-changing event or something like that forces me to. Right now, my personal life and my job just really allows me time to do this. I have the most unbelievable, flexible job. I mean, I work a lot, don't get me wrong, but I can pretty much dictate my own schedule. There's some times when I'm needed no matter what, but for the most part, if I need shit off, I can be off. So it's allowed me the time and the freedom to do this. But if something ever happens, if I ever, make it big enough on YouTube to where it's a legitimate source of my income, I actually wouldn't rule out moving back to the East Coast and moving back to the beaches of North Carolina. A lot of my friends want me back, but my job here is so amazing, I can't ever leave. So if you if you guys want to keep sharing me and share my shit and make YouTube a big deal, and it becomes, you know, some of my income, I'll pack up and I'll move back to the East Coast. I'll do this full time and I'll pick up a part-time gig on the side, and you guys can have me every fucking day. But that's probably the only way you're going to get me back to the East Coast. Otherwise, I'm chilling here in San Diego. It was fucking 88 degrees today. So fucking awesome. I had to run several errands. I had to go to the grocery store. I had to go to the bank. I walked. I threw on my flip-flops, a pair of shorts, a tank top, out the door, and just enjoyed the fresh air. It was fucking magical. Yeah, well, I don't want to, I'm not going to shit on anybody else, Chaz, but thanks for stopping by. And I know that everybody that's in here right now, by the way, which what is the audience? Over 200-ish, right? You guys all have a lot of streaming options tonight, right? Looking at my subscriber list, I only see a couple. I see What Culture, Steven Larson. They're all awesome guys. And I'm sure there's been some other ones. You probably have a lot of people on YouTube right now streaming Backlash Thoughts. So the fact that you're here and you're choosing me means a lot to me. So I appreciate it. A lot of competition out there. So whenever I can keep several hundred people's attention, it's a win, right? Tyler, I say fuck too much to get the good ads. I don't say fuck that much. I say fuck a lot. I say fuck a lot, a fucking lot. But I don't think I say it that fucking much. Get the fuck out of here. You're full of fucking shit, Tyler Harris. I don't fucking say fuck that goddamn fucking much. I don't know where you get these things. And by the way, you know all those problems that everybody has on YouTube? I never get my videos flagged. Like one every 10 or 15 videos, I'll get not suitable for advertisers, and I'll dispute it, and it'll release it like the next day. So I don't even get like problems with not suitable for advertisers shit. All my shit is monetized. It goes through just fine. So even though I say fuck a little too fucking much, I don't think it really hurts me that bad, because I don't have nearly the same amount of problems that it seems like all the other YouTubers do. I'm constantly hearing about people getting screwed over out of their ad revenue and stuff on videos, and it sucks. And I have not experienced many of these problems. So even though I fucking say fuck a lot, I still think I got a good thing going here. I watch Steven Larson every now and then. They're the only guy, well, aside from maybe a tweet or two, they're the only guys that I've never actually directly spoke to. Like all the other people in the YouTube community, I've like communicated with. They'll either reach out to me or vice versa, and I've always made a point to introduce myself and say, I'm so and so, and what's up, and how you doing. They're the only guys that I haven't really actually spoken to before. So if you're watching their stream, tell them GoodMicWork says what's up. And I should drop one of them a line these days and at least say hi, right? It's all about respect in YouTube land as far as I'm concerned. I'm always going to reach out the olive branch. I have no interest whatsoever of having issues with people or drama or anything like that. I'm here to have fun, talk about wrestling, hang out with my fans. And I respect anybody else on YouTube that takes the time to do this, because it's not easy, man. A lot of people really want me to watch Breaking Bad. I know that's an awesome show. I'll watch it, but I don't know how it pertains to this channel. I don't know. Other than mentioning it in live streams, I'm a wrestling channel. What am I gonna do? Come up here and do a Breaking Bad review? The only way I would ever do that is if I was able to get big enough to where YouTube could be, I don't want to say a full-time job, but just a significant part of my income to where I could dedicate most of my time to it. I think I would still have to work on the side, and I would, because I'd go stir crazy if I didn't have a job. I got to be up, moving around, doing something. Otherwise, I just feel like my brain and body would atrophy. You know what I mean? But if it was ever, the majority of my income, I could do. My second channel is sitting there with 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers. I have not uploaded a video to that in like 2 years. So, that channel is just sitting there. If I ever wanted to do more reviews and talk about non-wrestling shit, I could always do it over there. But the channel that you're watching now, I always want this to be wrestling. That's my number one goal here. You know, aside from major world events that cannot be ignored, catastrophes, terrorist attacks, elections, shit like that, when you really have no choice but to at least mention something. Aside from that, for the most part, I want this to be 100% wrestling. So, and of course, when I'm up here drinking beer, doing live streams with all of you, we can talk about whatever you want. I've told so many stories about my life on these streams. I've given you guys glimpses into my background and some of the shit that I've done and where I've been and shit. And that's all fun. But as far as like my podcast and stuff goes, that's got to be strictly wrestling, man. Oh yeah, Steven Larson, they're up in Sacramento. So they're a ways for me. I'm trying to put it into a perspective of the East Coast. I want to say geographically, Sacramento and San Diego would probably be about the same distance as maybe Atlanta and Philly, something like that. So they're not exactly super close. No, Joshua, don't play any WWE video games except for the old school ones like Nintendo and shit like that. But I tell you, man, with the wrestling audience, there's such a huge crossover with video games. I've always said all I would have to do is stream modern video games. If I knew anything about Xboxes and PlayStations and shit, all I would have to do is come up here and stream whatever popular game is out there, and I'd triple my subs, man. It's one thing I've noticed about the YouTube community. If you incorporate video games, you're going to be a huge player in YouTube. And I wish that I did. That's probably the only reason why I don't have 100,000 subs. I don't play any fucking video games. Does anybody know the move that Alexa Bliss got injured on? What was the finish in that? Did she get hurt on the Samoan drop? Or did something else happen? That's gotta suck. If she did have breast augmentation surgery done, she's probably already in a little bit of pain still from that. Now she's gotta fuck her shoulder up? Yikes. Yeah, I did. I'm trying to think WWE games. Like, when I lived, I had a roommate. I've told a story about her before. Her name, we called her nickname was Biggin. 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 Because she was a small little, cute little blonde girl that somehow, during a game of flag football in PE in high school, she knocked unconscious. Out cold. Captain of the football team. He was running. He didn't see her coming. She shoulder checked him, knocked him out cold. So her nickname was Biggin from that day on. But she had a PlayStation in the house, and I remember my friend had. It was one of those first games. It was like Monday Night Raw. It was like 1998, something like that. And there was a game, and that was the only modern wrestling game that I ever played. Aside from that, I've got the old WrestleMania on NES up there. I've got WrestleMania Challenge, a couple of other WWE games. And that's it. And a couple on Genesis, on the Sega Genesis. Aside from that, I know nothing. I know nothing. You guys are hitting me with them fuck, marry, kills. It's still like, you know when, like, back in the day when Raw would try to be PG for the first hour and then go TV-14 for, like, the third? I feel like I'm still in the PG mode. We've only been going a little bit over an hour here. So we'll get into the more racy stuff later. I'm making you guys wait. If you want to hear who I'm going to fuck, marry, and kill, and you want to hear my thoughts on Cobra Kai, you just got to stay tuned. We'll stick to wrestling for a little bit. No, Harry, I will not. Well, that is true, Tyler. You got a point. It was a shitty pay-per-view, so I guess we can start the nonsense early. But, you know, I'm kind of eyeballing my audience here, and it's pretty decent. And I ain't trying to scare anybody away. Because only cool dudes hang out in this chat. Like, you know, a lot of females watch these streams because there's so many awesome dudes in the chat. They're just attracted to us. Right? At least that's what I'm telling myself. Catherine, are you in here? Right? Right? Or are you gone? You're probably gone. What do you want, buddy? You can't be up here right now. It's stream time. Yeah. Too bad. Too bad, buddy. I remember the commercials to shut your mouth. Are you serious, dude? You're going to do that? All right. Ugh. Why don't you get out of here, man? Let's put you all the way over here and then off. There. See you later. Insists on interrupting the Backlash stream. Checking everything out here. We're looking good. I'm not talking to you. Thanks for getting them likes up. I think we're over 100 now, but I want to see it creep up a little bit more. That would be a big help. Give this channel a subscribe. Will you get out of here and stop meowing? Jesus Christ, dude. God. Damn. Oh my God, he will not shut up. What is wrong with you? Talk about a motherfucker not taking no for an answer. You're back. You're not giving up, huh? Come on, all I'm going to do is push you off again. Come on. Come on, dummy. Come on. You gonna walk right in front of the camera again? All right, now why don't you go? Why don't you go? If he comes up a third time, I'm going to laugh. And the funny thing is, I have no choice. They literally have me by the balls. Because I can't lock them in another room in the house because they'll just go apeshit in there. They'll be jumping up on the doorknob. They'll get out. They'll make so much fucking noise. Demanding little fuckers. I'm glad Shinsuke is covering up his fat ass eating right now. Whenever he gets mad, he goes and eats. Yeah, I don't do this cat shit on purpose. I don't bring the cats out. These fuckers come to me. And they're so horrible in the morning. Because they want to eat. And my one cat, he knows that he goes over and he purposely does this shit on purpose. He goes over to the blinds in the window in the master bedroom. And he bats at the fucking blind, the plastic, blind drawer or whatever, and it bangs on the wall, and he knows it drives me crazy, and he does it purposely to wake me up so I can feed him. Makes me want to flush his little fucking head down the toilet. Pisses me off. Hell yeah, Drew, I am. Thank you for the super chat too. Appreciate that. Gonna watch Punk fight in UFC 225, yeah. And so I forgot the name of his opponent, but apparently his opponent is, I think, 0-1, just like Punk is. So this is actually better because when he faced Mickey Gall, he was so overmatched. That kid looked like a badass. He had CM Punk beat in like 5 fucking seconds. So putting Punk in there now with somebody maybe more his skill level is better. And now if Punk loses again, then forget it. He's done. He's already 40 years old. I almost just wish he loses and he's done with it, because the problem is if Punk wins, you can almost just forget about him ever coming back to wrestling, especially at his age, because if he does win, that means he's going to have another fight in another year, and he's going to concentrate on that. He might never appear in wrestling again, where if he loses this, you got to think he's going to say, all right, I'm done with this experiment. I tried. I failed. Let's move on. He can return to wrestling, go to New Japan, join the Bullet Club, show up next year in the Royal Rumble, something like that. But if he wins, that means he's going to want to stick with it, and it's going to push wrestling even farther away. And yeah. Mike Jackson is his name? All right, fine. Oh, so he was his first opponent before Gall was chosen? Yeah, I don't know why they... I mean, even during the introductions, I mean, I was looking at this like, this guy's going to fucking kill CM Punk. He's 25 years old. He's a fucking beast. No thanks. I wouldn't want anything again to do with that guy. He gave me a baseball bat, then I'm like, yeah, bring it on, motherfucker. But other than that, no thanks. Punk's... no wonder Punk got his ass beat. Yeah, Bellator might have been a better spot for Punk. That's for sure. But CM Punk, based on his name alone, I mean, UFC was going to be able to give him the money. And plus, they want to bring in a big buy rate, too. It's all about money. If CM Punk wasn't famous, he would not have a UFC contract at all. I mean, same thing with Ronda Rousey in WWE. If Ronda Rousey didn't have the previous experience in UFC, she'd be in NXT right now, learning how to cut promos, attending promo classes right now in NXT. Yeah, I don't know if the MMA world is really for CM Punk. I don't know if he... We'll find out. If he can't beat this schmuck that he's being put up against, then he's got to be done, because otherwise it was a case of CM Punk maybe believing his own bullshit. You know, maybe thinking he's a legit tough guy. That's a good question. Who had a more impressive opponent? Or a performance, I'm sorry. Who did better? CM Punk in his first UFC fight, or Bart Gunn at WrestleMania 15 against Butterbean? What's up, Barry? My Hawaiian buddy. Thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Thoughts on the Sunday Night Heat show? I loved it. Is there a new one coming out, or you're talking about the old one? I love Sunday Night Heat. Back in the day, it was on MTV. Back in the day, Sunday Night Heat used to act as the pre-show to all the pay-per-views. And every pay-per-view that I ever recorded off pay-per-view, I have all those Sunday Night Heat shows taped as well. And I guess they're on the network now, or they're coming to the network. One or the other. Yeah, Punk just didn't seem like the guy, you know, being a backyard wrestler and shit, he just didn't seem like the guy that would get into mixed martial arts. He just came in way too late. And Punk did last longer than Bart Gunn at Mania. But they both just got completely humiliated. Alexa doesn't look right without a title. I miss the little sexy pose thing that she does with the belt, that's for sure. I'll be back in a second. I need another Dos Equis. Another one. We are back. All right, we are back. 30-second beer break. Sorry about that. This is why I'm looking forward to my 500th episode, because I'm going to plan big for it. We'll come up here and we'll watch Raw, we'll hang out, and then I just want to have I just want to hang out with you guys, like with the people that are like the most loyal to me. I mean, there's like 200 and some of you in here right now, and I know you guys are probably the most loyal to the channel and stuff, so it'd be nice just to kind of hang out with you guys. We'll talk about whatever you want. It'll just be a fun, chilled out night. I'll be a dick and beg for donations for my 500th episode and shit like that, and it can be a lot of fun. I'll give some shit away. We'll talk about wrestling. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about. Life, movies, music, whatever. It'll be fun. Because that's all I want. You know, I just... I don't want to make a big deal out of episode 500 because it's sort of unofficial. Even though I've definitely done 500 episodes. You know, it really wasn't counted until episode 100. And, you know, I've had some other episodes that I haven't counted in the numbering and shit. So it's kind of a fishy number. So I don't want to act like I've accomplished some big feat here because, you know, I didn't start counting from episode 1. I started counting from episode 100. So technically it's unofficial. This is probably my 500th episode right here. If you actually counted all the videos I did, this might be it. Give away one of my 2 championship belts? I don't know if I can. The TV title has just a special place in my heart, and then the Winged Eagle title is my favorite belt of all time. And after the match we saw tonight on Backlash with The Miz and Seth Rollins, I want to get myself an IC belt. That's always been like my favorite belt, the Winged Eagle, and the Intercontinental title with the black strap, not the white one, the black one, has always been my favorite belts. And I should get the Intercontinental title. If anybody wants to send me an Intercontinental title, you're welcome to. I'll send you a t-shirt. I mean, I've thought about going online and buying one, but they're still pretty expensive, and I just don't know if I can justify myself spending that money. I would really like to have one. So sometimes I keep my eye out on eBay. If I see one, you know, at a price that's a little bit lower or something, maybe I'll grab it. But, you know, just $300 plus on something like that with all the money I spend on just living. The Winged Tito. I didn't say Winged Tito. The Winged Eagle. You know, I don't know if I can justify myself spending that much money on a belt. No, I wasn't really a fan. Well, Drew, I liked the North American belt, but I didn't. I liked the North American belt because it had a little bit of an old school feel to it. But overall, I didn't really like it. Yeah, if I like it, it's because it's old schoolish. But as far as just the overall beauty of a belt, the Winged Eagle and the IC are top of my list. I mean, there's been a lot of good belts, but those 2 I really liked. And WCW belts, you know, the TV title in WCW is reminiscent to, in the shape of the Hogan belt in like 1986 and 87. The belt he wore in the ring to face Andre at WrestleMania 3. So Intercontinental, if I found an IC title replica with a black strap for the $220 range, then I might pick it up. I'd like to search around. I'd love to find one used at a fucking flea market or something, but as long as it's in good condition. But $220 is reasonable. I just don't want to shell out $300-400. It would just, I mean, I could, but it would just make me, I'd feel guilty if I did that, you know, like I should not be spending money like that. But it's tempting. Every time I see one on my phone or on the internet, I'm like, it'd be one click. I could click my finger literally 2 or 3 times and it would be here. But I've refrained. Tried to remain responsible. I haven't set up a P.O. box yet, and I've actually had a couple of emails from people saying they wanted to send me something. But I wasn't sure if I was big enough to like go set up a P.O. box if y'all want to send me shit. But eventually, maybe it'll get to that. Maybe I'll have to do that. I've had a couple of emails about it. But it might be a good idea at some point, just, you know, especially with so much stuff. I mean, I also mail other stuff off as well. I'm going to give, oh, by the way, speaking of episode 500, be prepared. I want to give away pretty much the remaining t-shirts that I have. And I have a good amount of them left. I purchased a lot before I handed things over to Pro Wrestling Tees, and I was doing my own merchandise. I purchased a lot of shirts, and I sold a lot of shirts, but I have a lot left over. The NWO logo that you see behind me here, I don't have too many of those left, maybe just a handful. I mean, I think I bought 70. I think I might have 5 left or something like that. No, I got like 10 left. So I got a good amount of those left, and then and the white ones I probably have like 20 or 30 of. So I'm going to give away a lot of t-shirts. But unfortunately, now that I'm almost out of those, my sizes are limited. So hopefully you're the size that I have. I'm all out of XLs and shit, so you got to be like a large. No, you got to be a large or an extra large. 3Xs are gone. I only bought a few. Like, I ordered 70 shirts, and I think I only ordered 10 triple XLs. And they went quick. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that. TVTrax has helped my channel a great deal. So have the live streams. It's been a good 1-2 punch. It's really helped grow my channel. I want to shout out NoDQ.com as well. Aaron always does a really good job of posting my stuff on their YouTube channel. He'll pull clips off of TVTrax all the time and put it up on the website. So I appreciate that from them. Oh, I had them. They're all gone now. But don't worry. Like, if you want to purchase a t-shirt, you can go to Pro Wrestling Tees and go to my store. The link is right here in the description. They've got all the sizes, but unfortunately, they're for sale. The ones I'm giving away, I'm going to have to go through the box. I'll pull it out here and go through. And I want to give as many shirts away as possible because I just kind of want to liquidate it, you know. I bought a lot of shirts. I didn't quite break even on it, but I almost did. And it's really only because I bought too many. I should have bought half the amount of shirts that I did. If I would have bought half, then I would have made a pretty nice profit. But I got a lot of extra ones, and at this point, it's been 2 years. Let's get rid of them. Let Pro Wrestling Tees handle everything from here on out. So yeah, on episode 500, you can at least expect a shit ton of t-shirt giveaways. And then I might pull down a couple of prizes off of my shelf. Not as many as I did for my end of the year video. I gave a lot of DVDs and tapes away. So I don't have that much shit to give away, but I'll pull out a few things. I'm going to pick up a couple of new sealed DVDs off Amazon. Just buy them, have them shipped to the house, and I'm going to give them away. So I kind of set aside, you know, like $100. I'll spend that on a few DVDs and send them out to you guys. Barry, that's cool. You know, I should look into the I can't remember the last time I updated my Patreon page, but I want to, you know, some of the rewards and shit. So if somebody did pledge that much, I would definitely do a specific video for you. Absolutely. And actually, I should add that. I kind of do already on the $100 or more reward. I do basically have a stipulation in there. Just tell me what you want. So I could add you know, for the $100 tier, I will do a video based on whatever topic you want. That's actually a really good idea. Maybe I'll update that and I'll credit to you, Barry. But yeah, if you wanted to pledge that much, and you gave me a topic for a show, or a couple of topics, I would totally do a video for that. Absolutely. Who wouldn't want to wax my head? ECW Zombie shout out. He passed away. I forget his name. He was an indie guy, I think, around the New York, Philly area or something. And he died. I forget his name now. Tony something or other? I forget. What's up, Tito? I gotta get a picture of that because that's too hilarious. This motherfucker. Laying upside down. And staring at. Are you alive, dude? Alright. You're alive. They stand so fucking still. Jesus. The Zohan, do you have a death wish? Are you a masochist? You'll pledge $100 for a Battleground Memories commentary? I will do that for $100. No problem. I swear to God, I'll upload the Patreon tonight. I will. I'm going to make some dinner later on, and I'll go up on Patreon and I'll update my rewards tier. And yeah, that's a really good idea. Because I was looking at it too, like, whatever rewards I want to offer for various donations, I want it to be good, but that's a really good idea. $100 or more, any video you want. I mean, within reason. You can't ask me for my top 100 wrestlers list or anything like that. It's got to be a video that I can do relatively quickly. But I will definitely dedicate a full podcast episode to whatever topic you want if you pledge $100. Good idea, Barry. You're a genius. That's why you live in Hawaii. Smart people live in Hawaii. Hey, Sir Joseph. Don't fucking laugh. Backlash Memories would be awesome. They'd be a lot better than Battleground Memories. You know what I miss? I miss the old swinging hooks. Remember the old set on the for Backlash, like 1999, 2000? Probably even 2001. I don't know how long it went. But the set was awesome. They had these big, giant, swinging metal fucking hooks. Now it's just generic bullshit. Payback Memories would suck, but Backlash would be good. The Rock won the WWE title at Backlash. Man, I'm losing my voice too. Didn't Elias lose his voice tonight on TV? I feel like the same thing is happening to me. And I'm supposed to come up here tomorrow night during Raw. Yikes. All right, Nova, you're on. $100,000 for capital punishment memories. Oh, that would be a fun video to do. I can't name one single capital punishment match ever. I have no idea. The event was always in DC, right? Stupid. Wait a minute. Capital punishment. When did... I might be right about this. I'm going to be impressed with my own memory if I have this right. When did John Cena face R-Truth? Was that a capital punishment pay-per-view? I think it was. Here I thought I had no memory at all when it comes to shit like that, but I think I might. Royal Rumble memories are hard to do, only because I don't remember shit after like 2004 or 5. After that, it's like fucking blur. I gotta go back and watch all those shows. I don't want to do that. So that's the only reason you haven't seen a Royal Rumble memories video, because I don't remember. Fucking Royal Rumble memories, that's what it means. The shit that's in your head. Nothing's in my head. I mean, if you ask me year by year who won, I have to sit here and think. And I probably get it wrong. I have to think like what year it was, who worked at WrestleMania, and try to like deduct who won the Rumble. And most of the time I can get it right, but I usually don't know. Nowadays I forget shit right after it happens. I can probably go back and watch my own episodes, which I never do, and listen to some of my Raw reviews and be like, I don't even remember that happening, and here I am talking about it. That's Greg. All All right, so we got maybe a couple of dozen subscribers. Hopefully we'll get some more tomorrow night. Oh, Royal Rumble 2015? No, I don't. Who won? I forgot. It was a pretty good show, right? It was in Philadelphia. Fans went nuts for the outcome. Who won? Daniel Bryan, I think, won, right? Fans went home happy. Armageddon memories. I'd prefer Armageddon memories or Backlash memories over Payback, Capital Punishment, or whatever the fuck else we talked about. I mean, Armageddon, 2 years in a row, had some pretty memorable matches. One was the big Hell in the Cell. It was like 6 people. Rikishi did the Peter Pan off the cell into the truck. And I think the year before that was Stephanie and Triple H getting together. It was Vince against Triple H. That was a big match. I mean, that was a big moment. The hug with Stephanie and Triple H. Stephanie had been this innocent sweetheart all the way up until this point, and then she turns into the dirty slut we always knew she was. Oh, man. It was a great moment. Black Bolt, do you mean Ruby Riott had a lip slip or a nip slip? How can her nipples not be pierced? Did anybody see it? Did she have a nip slip? Certainly there's got to be a stud through there, right? I don't know why I love the fucking title Taboo Tuesday. I think when I think of Taboo, I think, you know, there's a show on like Discovery Channel or something where they just travel around watching people do fucked up shit. So whenever I see the word taboo, like the guys that can like wrap sticks around their dicks and shit like that, or like what are the crazy shit that goes on? I always cracked up that they use the name Taboo Tuesday. Vince is so dumb. Like when I think of taboo, I think of, oh, that kind of lip slip. Sorry, Black Bolt. When I think of taboo, I think of 2 girls, 1 cup. That's fucking taboo. I don't care what you say. Sorry, Black Bolt. I think I misunderstood which type of lips you were talking about there. Yeah, you show up to a GoodMicWork stream, you might just get a 2 girls, 1 cup reference in here, so you never know what to expect. Anything can happen in the WWE and on GoodMicWork live streams. I could probably do a Starcade Memories, sure. Totes. Oh dear. Thank you for 2 different angles on Carmella's ass. That's nice of you guys to tweet me these things. Awesome. So are we just going to name every pay-per-view for me to do memories on? There's a lot of pay-per-views. If you guys pay me $100 to do a video on every pay-per-view, I could retire. So get cracking. I would love, Jose, I would love to do In Your House Memories. That would be a fun one to do. Because that I could do with very little research. I would refresh my memory on some of those shows, but for the most part, I remember all of the In Your Houses. So I could have a good time. Talking about that Brett and Bulldog match. Oh my God, in '95 from December in Winnipeg. Oh, what a match. Oh, no, it wasn't Winnipeg. It was in Hershey. It was in Pennsylvania. And they got all ECW-ish and Brett fucking bled buckets. Oh, my God. Fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. I would love to do a In Your House Memories. Absolutely love it. That would be a fun just side video. I should do that just in general. I used to watch that Bret Hart Bulldog match. I used to wear that tape out. I mean, my God. I recorded it off pay-per-view, and I watched that match over and over. That match was so good. WWE, I don't even remember the last time they'd done this. They and back in the day, Raw did not go on for very long. Raw was only an hour long. They actually re-aired that entire match pretty much in its entirety on an episode of Monday Night Raw. WWE was so proud of that match that they made it the main event of a Raw one week. They replayed the whole fucking match. I want to say it was in early 96. A couple of weeks after. Maybe the week after, whatever the fuck. And that was amazing shit. Yeah, Barry, you can have as many shows as you want done. Absolutely. I wish I could do more shows as it is, but I have to have a reason to do them, you know? But that would be a really interesting reward for a particular tier on the Patreon. So, yeah. I couldn't name you one single insurrection memory at all. Raw needs to go back to 1 hour. That would be nice. And the funny thing is like, I don't know how many are you watching right now, a couple of hundred. I would like to know the percentage of you that were actually watching Raw in 1995 and remember that shit. The people that scream and yell in their fucking webcam, do they have any concept at all of what Raw used to be? I remember watching Raw in 1994. It would be an hour long, be a bunch of shitty matches in a small-ass arena, and then as soon as it went off the air, Silk Stockings would come on. And then after Silk Stockings, they'd run some reruns of Wings, like 11, 12 at night. USA Network, the remote stops here. Those were the days. Now everybody's a bunch of spoiled sons of bitches. But what I've noticed, too, about the wrestling audience, the most judgmental people, the people that are the most fucking, the biggest critics in wrestling, have not been watching previous to the Attitude Era. Older fans, while we do our fair share of complaining, don't get me wrong, we don't complain nearly as much, you know, as people that claim to know the way somebody who should be booked, how somebody should be booked. But the first WrestleMania they ever saw was WrestleMania 19. What the fuck? Sorry, your opinion doesn't count. Too young. But you'll notice that. You know, you'll see that all over social media, all over YouTube, all over anywhere that you can fucking comment. Older fans are less jaded because we remember how it used to be. And how this, as bad as it can be sometimes, don't get me wrong, is a hell of a lot better than it used to be in certain times in wrestling. Maybe not the Attitude Era, maybe not 99 to 2000 like Dark Rose Angel says, or 2001. But definitely better than 93, 94, 95, 96. About 97 it started getting cooking. But even 97 and 98 were not great years. They weren't. We're going to sit here and complain about what we saw on Raw. Try watching a Los Barricos versus DOA 8-man tag. Tell me how good that shit is. It sucks. Try watching the New Midnight Express versus, fuck, I don't know. Too Cool. Ooh, do people actually do that? Who pours the milk before the cereal? What kind of sick son of a bitch does that? Do any of y'all do that? Don't tell me, I'll block you. Cereal first. Milk second. Crazy fuckers. Kiss My Foot match, Jose was King of the Ring, 1995. Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler. That led to Isaac Yankum's debut. He worked SummerSlam with Bret, and he, of course, would go on to become Kane. So without the Kiss My Foot match, we may have never gotten Kane. Who knows? That's very possible. You know, Glenn Jacobs' career could have taken a completely different path had he not come in. Because he was working Smoky Mountain. He was Unabomb over there. And then he came in, he got into WWE. They debuted him as Isaac Yankum, as Jerry Lawler's dentist, because Jerry Lawler was trying to get the stench out of his mouth from the feet. And that's when he brought in Yankum to get revenge on Bret Hart. And then he had, you know, his career was kind of going nowhere. Did the new Diesel gimmick after that, and that led to Kane. So who knows? Without that ridiculous Kiss My Foot match, who knows if we would have even had Kane. And we might have had Kane, but maybe somebody else would have played him, and it would have been a character that would have lasted 1 year. So who knows what direction wrestling would have gone in had it not been for certain matches, and that Kiss My Foot match was one of them. I'll do one fuck, marry, kill. The Iconics and Alexa Bliss. I'll kill Billy Kay. I'll fuck Alexa Bliss. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to fuck Peyton Royce. I'll marry Alexa Bliss because she earned points with her funny moments of bliss. And I feel bad for her for being bullied by Nia Jax. Nia sounds like an asshole to do and say those things to Alexa. So I'll marry Alexa. That way her and I can talk about it. And I can help her through those troubled times. Billy Kay I'll just kill because of process of elimination. And I will destroy Peyton Royce. There you go. Destroy. Good night, Zombie Fighter. Good night, Jacob. Thanks for hanging out tonight. You're always fun. I'll be up here tomorrow talking about Raw. What's going on with the King of the Ring, by the way? That's a network show? Is that going to be like a UK deal? That's what I heard. That's fine with me. How long have we been going? All right, we're 2 hours in. All right, so we made it 2 hours. Got a funny little notification on my stream here. It looks all good, though. Speaking of May, the date is May 23rd, right? So we're coming up. I cannot believe this. We are coming up on... All right, I got a notification from Barry. Oh, you probably can't see it. On my phone. From Twitter. All right, I guess you put your Patreon donation in and you want a review. So I'll be doing that. I'll be taking a look at that. But anyway, May 23rd is the 19-year anniversary. 19 of Owen Hart's death. Crazy. It's been that long. So next year we're coming up on the 20th year. So I will plan a very big video for May 2019 when we talk about Owen Hart. That's going to be crazy. 20 years. Unbelievable that it's been that long. Well, I already need another beer. John Redifer, I'm going to answer your super chat here in just a second. Let me run and grab another cold one, and I'll be right back. And we'll talk some more. Sorry about the delay. Sorry for the delay. Alright, I'm back. Took me a while to get back, I'm sorry. Decided I needed to take a piss too. It happens. 2 hours into the stream, what do you expect? Know what I'm saying? Have another Dos Equis and hang out for a little bit. Man, I'm off tomorrow too, so I got some shit to do during the day, some errands to run, but otherwise I'm home watching Raw. Probably watching some NBA playoff games, cooking some dinner, hanging out. Y'all are all welcome to join. Indica nights as well. You know, the guy that delivers my my amazing Happy California Times here, he has like a farm. So he brings me, whenever he delivers whatever I order, he brings me heirloom tomatoes. Today he brought me like free-range eggs. He has chickens, and they laid these like crazy eggs. They're all different colors and shit. And I'm gonna fucking make some shit out of it. Just all super like just crazy natural shit. He's always bringing me something. Avocados, whatever he grows. Pretty cool. That's why I can never leave California, man. But if y'all want to make YouTube a permanent part of my life, hook me up and I'll buy a house on the East Coast and you'll see me every fucking day. But until then, I'm hanging out here in Cali. Having weed, heirloom tomatoes, and free-range eggs delivered to my door. Not a bad gig. Yeah, I'm probably going to make an omelet too. I'm going to make all sorts of shit. I love stuff like that. Like, I like buying a tamale off the side of the road near the Mexican border out of the back of a truck. You know, that's like the kind of food I like. All the Mexican guys that I work with and stuff, man, their wives, they make the best fucking food and they bring it in. Delicious. Fucking delicious. Alright, we look good here. I'm going to switch tickers. There we go. Quick cutaway. Alright, sorry, we're a couple hours in here. We're now moving into hangout mode. Oh, sorry. Did I miss a super chat? Excuse me. Oh, man. Thank God for the mute button there. Let out a super gnarly cough. I'm going to go back up here and check out that super chat. What'd I miss? Oh, yeah. Kane, Michael Myers, and Jason Voorhees. Kane. Got to go Kane on that one. I don't watch really many horror movies. That's the thing. So, I watched a couple of the Friday the 13th with Jason and... Who was the other guy? Or was Friday the 13th Michael Myers? What the fuck was Jason? I forget who these guys were. They both wore, like, hockey masks, right? Jason was Friday the 13th, right? I think. I don't fucking know. But I gotta go with Kane. Wasn't a big horror movie fan, never really have been. Huh. That would be a fun one. Somebody wants to donate that to Patreon. One Night in China. Live reaction. Oh my god. I've told the story about that videotape before. I had the DVD. I sold it. Somebody paid a good amount of money for it too. But my old, my wife's ex-roommate used to manage a porn shop. And she knew I liked wrestling, and that DVD showed up one day. She grabbed a copy, brought it home, gave it to me, and was like, I thought you would like this. And I kept it for like 10 years. Sold it on eBay. But I watched it. I remember watching it. I never ripped it, though. Like, I don't have it anymore. I think I sold it before I saved it. So, I'd have to look it up online. But yeah, should be fun. I might have to put that on the second channel because that's age restricted, I would think. Halloween, thank you. I'm like, where the fuck was the other guy from? Michael Myers was Halloween, that's right. I'm like, not Nightmare on Elm Street. Where the fuck was he from? I only watched a couple of the Friday the 13th when they first came out back in the day. You know, you'd have like sleepovers with friends and shit, and you'd watch that crazy shit. I watched like the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Evil Dead was another one that I remember watching. And then I remember back in the days of the video stores when you would go in and actually rent a videotape. Me and my friends, we got our hands on a couple of copies of the what are they called? What are they called? The fucking death videos. Faces of Death. I'm like, what the fuck is it called? Faces of Death. Which was just crazy. Just thinking of the shit we would do back then. But that wasn't even a horror movie. That was like a documentary of people like getting killed. But I mean, our horror movies have like a genre. They have an audience, and I'm just not one of those audience members. Never really liked horror movies very much. Was never into them. Blair Witch I saw when it first came out. And it was good if you're watching it. And some people actually believed it, but it was real. John, yeah, met Taker. It was once in a hotel. It was what the fuck? It was the one with the blue sign. The hotels, Courtyard, Courtside Inn, some shit like that. Big hotel chain. Remember meeting him there. Met him in '96 when I was backstage, and I'm sure somewhere else too. I'd have to think. I remember when Blair Witch came out, like, there was a girl that came into work. She was one of my servers. I was managing this Italian restaurant. Very small restaurant. The whole restaurant, we had 15 tables in there. And I was the bartender and manager. I made the schedule and did everything. And the chef was the owner. So, like, I ran the front, he ran the back. It was fun. And there was this hilarious little waitress. And she came into work one day insisting that she saw... And it was before the movie came out. She somehow got like an advanced tape of this thing, a bootleg of some kind. And she's like, it's the creepiest shit I've ever seen, and it's real, and insisted it was real. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I didn't even know what she was talking about. Then a couple of months later, the movie came out. And everybody was going apeshit over it, and I saw it. But by then, I kind of knew the story. And plus, I'm a wrestling fan. I know how to spot a work. So you're not going to be able to convince me. So I think my wrestling... fandom is what made me not believe in the Blair Witch at all watching it, because I'm like, oh, this is horseshit. I know what script it is. You know, that's a good question, a random one there from Drew. Or who was that? From Black Bolt, I'm sorry. Wondering who Nia Jax's opponent is. Now, given the match with her and Alexa tonight, you would think they're going to move on, right? So, what's Alexa going to do, and what's Nia going to do? Are they going to continue it, and is Alexa going to win it back? She lost clean tonight. She should be done. So, Nia's going to have to move on to somebody else, and then, I don't know, what do we get? Do we get Nia and Rousey at SummerSlam? When does Rousey get the title shot, you know? She's got to get one at some point. Oh, wow, Barry. Holy crap. Every episode of 2006 of Raw? Holy shit, I barely remember any of those. I can do it. I can definitely review 2006 for you, absolutely. Oh, cool. Did any of you guys... there's another. I didn't even see that DM. Holy shit. Do any of you subscribe or follow Pro Wrestling Links? I guess it's a web page with all of the wrestling podcasts on it. I got a DM from him saying he's adding me in the next update, whatever that means. So yeah, I'll probably be on there soon. That's cool. Yeah, I'll work on that, Barry. I'll put up something for you about 2006. Every single Raw, though, I don't want to make you wait a year for your video. I'd rather do this rather quickly. I'll compromise with you. I'll definitely review 2006, review my favorite moments, because I did like 2006, and I'm surprised that was your favorite year of Raw. That's an interesting year. Wasn't that the return of, like, DX and shit? And I kind of thought what DX did in 2006 was very lame compared to what they did in the early days. But I did like WrestleMania that year. I did like the things that Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon were doing on TV. So there's probably a good amount in 2006 to review. But every episode, that's a stretch, man. But yeah, it's coming. I'll totally do it. 2006 year in review. I'll do a little research on it. Rarely even. I answered that question like 100 times. Ever meet a wrestler who was a douche? I've met a shitload of wrestlers, and the only one that I can think of for sure off the top of my head that was a douche was Matt Bloom. Fucking Albert. Ran into him in a hotel, and he kind of was snide with me, and I didn't appreciate it because I'm very respectful of people. Like, I don't bother wrestlers. I don't rush up to them for an autograph. I don't even fucking talk to them. I'm respectful of that, and I'm respectful of their privacy. I'm not going to sacrifice making a fool out of myself just to get a picture. I don't give a shit about putting anything on Twitter or Facebook. I don't care. And I don't like bothering people. But I said something very innocent to him, and he said something snarky back. And ever since then, I'm like, you know what, dude? I wasn't even being aggressive. Like, fuck off. So, Matt Bloom, that would be the only person. And maybe he was just having a bad day. Who knows? But he was a dick, and I haven't forgiven him for it. Oh, and Barry, by the way, too. I do remember a lot of 2006, and I'm sure I can do your video, but I've told this story a bunch of times, too. When Eddie Guerrero died in 2005, at the end of 2005, I really stopped watching wrestling for a while. I remember watching the Royal Rumble and Mania, but as far as TV goes, I was not paying much attention. I remember tuning back in around the time of Shawn and Vince and the fucking Spirit Squad and all that shit. But when I saw that, I was like, ew, like, this is just fucking awful. But there's plenty of shit to talk about, that's for sure. '08 wasn't bad. I do remember a little bit of '08. I like that. Because we had, not only did we have Ric Flair retiring, we had the HBK and Y2J feud. I'm trying to think what the fuck else. I just remember enjoying 2008. I don't know why. Vince versus God in a shoot fight. Who wins? Vince. Easily. Hands down. Vince will be making him tap out, man. That's a no-brainer. Nicest wrestler I've ever met. I met a shitload of nice ones. Probably Mick Foley, Edge, Jericho, Al Snow, Cornette. Who else? Who else was like super nice? Vader, very nice. Fuck. Phineas Godwin, Tex Slashinger, another nice guy. Mark Merrow, Savio Vega. Those are some of the ones I can name off the top of my head that I thought were like super nice. Al Snow was especially nice. I just remember him being really nice. I met him in like 95, something like that. He was a new rocker. Hilarious. Worst wrestler I've met. You mean like worst in the ring? Man. I'm trying to think the worst wrestler, like in the ring. I've met some shitty ones. Fucking met everybody. I've met hoes in the Waffle House more than once. And that's the craziest part. One of them was there both times. Oh, God. Jose, what? You mean pay-per-view review as far as this one goes? Does Solid Monster have one up already? Everybody's shitting on Backlash, right? I have no doubt about it. I try not to subscribe to too many people on YouTube, but I can never find... Oh, even the title is pretty gnarly. Yeah, Solid Monster didn't like this pay-per-view any more than we did. Yeah, fuck fucking Backlash. I mean, Christ. I think it was a case of just too much wrestling. I think there was just too much going on. WWE didn't want to dedicate any time. You know, they just didn't. They wanted to get through this pay-per-view. Like, basically, what I think they should have done is if you're going to do a show in Saudi Arabia, then make that be your pay-per-view for the month. Don't try to do both. You should have just done that one. And the next pay-per-view should be Money in the Bank. Or don't do Saudi Arabia and do Backlash, and then your next pay-per-view is Money in the Bank. I think the way the Greatest Royal Rumble fell into the scheduling here, it fucked everything up. I think Backlash this year was a case of Saudi Arabia getting in the way. They had to give the country a big show, and they had to give them big matches. Had that pay-per-view not happened, I think we would have seen a title change or two tonight. We would have seen something else happen than what we saw. But the two shows were nearly identical. What was that phrase everybody kept throwing around? Glorified house show? I mean, my thumbnail that I'm using for this video describes it perfectly. I mean, it's just two fuckers laying down. It's just like, this show sucked. You know, it's like it actually, I'm looking at it right now, I'm laughing. I'm like, that actually fits. Because this show, But that's the thing, like, we have so much content. I can brush off. And I think Solid Monster too. Guys like us, we can fucking, as annoying as it is, we can brush it off. There's enough wrestling content to where if you throw at us a big steaming bowl of turds as a show, I'm like, whatever. There's a show tomorrow night. Tomorrow night on Raw could be the greatest Raw ever. We'll forget all about Backlash. Same thing with SmackDown. Then we got Money in the Bank coming up. There's just so much shit. Like, your mind has to keep moving. And I think a lot of the problem, too, with fans that really get mad, they get, like, over the top upset and angry, The problem they have is that they can't think beyond what they just saw. They think that the pay-per-view that took place tonight is the end of WWE. We're not going to get another show for a year from now. No, we're going to get another show 22 hours from now, tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. Let's just chill. It's going to be all right. If we get all these pay-per-views, we're going to get some that suck. Even back in the day, that happened. 1998 and 1999 had its share of shitty pay-per-views in between. No Way Out 1998 comes to mind. What a terrible show. Go back and look at that main event. What was the other one? There were some bad ones around that time. There was just some really kind of like lackluster shows. Fully Loaded 1998 was nothing to look at. Breakdown 1998 was nothing to look at. Nothing much there. Terrible shows. This shit happens no matter what era we're in. And plus, like I said, that greatest Royal Rumble shit just effed everything up. Just threw a monkey wrench into everything. I am surprised, though, we didn't see any title changes on Backlash at all. Harry Joe. There was a Fully Loaded. I liked Fully Loaded. They did it like 3 years. I liked the one where they did Benoit, Jericho, and Angle. All had the 3 big matches. That was awesome. 2000. That was a good pay-per-view. That I enjoyed. But like this Backlash was such a pointless show to even have, you know? And that's what I said earlier. You know, Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns had a pretty brutal match. They killed themselves. AJ Styles took a chair to the face, busted himself open at the end of the day for no reason as well. Alexa Bliss got hurt, according to you guys. We saw nothing further. The show was made by the first match. Jericho. Rollins and Miz stole the show, put on the best match of the card, got the show off to a great start. Crowd was hot. Right down the shitter ever since that match ended. So, I don't know what the WWE's problem is. They didn't give us anything, you know, for a pay-per-view. They gave us nothing. This was a TV show. They put Bayley and Ruby on the kickoff, but gave us that stupid segment with the New Day and Noah Jose and Elias and all that shit. They could have flipped that, you know? But they needed a little in-between. They didn't want it to be all wrestling. We had no tag team title matches on the line either. We had the tag match with Braun Strowman and Lashley, but the belts weren't even on the line. So yeah, not a whole lot to look at in Backlash. This is one of those occasions where I'm perfectly fine if people want to shit on the show. I think people should chill out, maybe not jump off your roof or anything in anger and freak out. Hey, fuck off. You want to shut that off? Thank you. Ugh. But yeah, tonight's show was big pile of ass. Man, I miss the old days. I miss the old days. Has anybody ever seen the movie The Village? It's got like Sigourney Weaver, and basically it's like a cult, or it's like a little community, and you're watching the whole movie thinking it's set in those times, in colonial times or whatever the fuck, and then you get to the end of the movie and the swerve is that it's set in modern times, but these people have created a community where they pretend like it's 100 years ago. I want to do that, but pretend it's the 90s. So, y'all want to buy a bunch of little cabins, form a little perimeter, and pretend like it's 1993? How many people are watching? 200? Is everybody in? Yeah, we got 200 people here. Y'all want to join? It'll be fun. Don't worry. There's no Kool-Aid involved. There's no mass suicides. We'll all just hang out and watch like 1990s pay-per-views and review them. No computers, just a notepad and pencil. We'll hang out. I'm down. The movie was terrible. The only reason I watched it is because it somehow got rented during a family vacation. And it was just one of those things where we're all sitting around, they put it in, and we all fucking watched it. Stupid movie. But it reminds me of that idea. I'm like, I'd form a cult where I pretended it was a different year. But yeah, the movie was dumb. It had Joaquin Phoenix in it, right? And somebody else. And it had like all the monsters were the bad guys, but then it turned out there was never any monsters. Oh, monsters. Not you. You're a monster. Yeah. You're a total fucking monster. Monster. Did that car alarm wake you up? Yeah, if there was a time machine in 1993. Boy, by that time I was driving. I was in high school. Oh my god. My tape deck in my car. I had a whole console full of tapes. You young kids, you have no idea what it was like to try to cram 40 or 50 cassette tapes into one little box and have to fucking interchange them. Technically, that shit's just as distracting as texting and driving. I mean, all the shit you would have to do. And then when I got a CD player, then it was just as bad. A little bit easier, but still, you're still fucking with shit. Now, I don't touch my dashboard at all. I don't like Limp Bizkit at all. The themes for WrestleMania, I don't remember 19. WrestleMania 7, oh, I guess I do remember 19, but I didn't like it. But WrestleMania 17, that stupid song My Way actually did fit. It worked well with the whole main event. But overall, as a band, I have zero artistic respect at all for Limp Bizkit. Fuck them. Terrible. Shut up, dude. What's wrong with you, man? God, you look at me like you're so depressed. Damn, Kyle, you're older than I am. You're a college freshman in 93. You're an old man. Hey, buddy. What's going on? Oh, yeah. That's right. The theme for WrestleMania 19 was Crack Addict. Crack Addict for WrestleMania. That's the theme they chose. That's the theme that they thought would be perfectly acceptable. Can you imagine? WrestleMania 35. We'd like to thank Limp Bizkit for their hit song, Crack Addict. Dude, you are relentless. That blows my mind that that's the name of the song. I kind of forgot about that. Crack Addict. Different times. Yeah, Kyle, you're older than me. You got a couple years on me. That makes me feel good. I am not the oldest person in this stream. Nice. Kyle, let's all wish him luck. He's going to be getting a discount at McDonald's real soon. And I'm not far behind him. I think we can get into movies at half price like in the next 10 years, dude. So yeah, good for us. Womp Swazi, your dad is 48. You can kiss my ass. I don't like being the same age as dudes' dads. Actually, it's funny, I have a 17-year-old hostess that works for me. She's a senior. She's about to head off to college and go to film school, and she is just a sweetheart. And I'm older. I'm like a year older than her dad. And I joke with her all the time, too, because she's so nice. And there's a couple of us at the restaurant that are like really protective. I'm like, hey, when you start dating a dude, you send him in here. We're gonna have a little interview with the motherfucker. So she's like, I have 3 dads. But I'm like, a 17-year-old daughter a dude has, and he's a year younger than me. Pfft, holy crap. Years just flying by. No, I'm not 48. Not even close. But I'll be 48 soon. Crack addict is royalty free? No shit. I'm still not using it. Ain't no way. Fuck Limp Bizkit. I know Bruno Mars' cousin, actually. His name's Greg, too. You young motherfuckers. 17, 23, 27. Ugh. How old do I look? I'm always told I look like 33. I can live with that. Yeah, me and Matt are about the same age there. It's alright. I would have never lived in any other time. I'm so happy that I was alive long enough to remember wrestling before fans got jaded. I'm happy that I was alive long enough to remember before cell phones and technology and computers and caller ID and text messages and Facebook and MySpace and Twitter and all that shit. I'm just very happy that I grew up building a treehouse, getting in fights, breaking your arm, shit like that, playing sports, running around your roof and falling off and getting hurt. Just typical shit that kids do. If I was a kid nowadays, I'd probably be inside playing bullshit Nintendo all day. Playing my little handheld device. Or my games on my phone. Being unhealthy. Oh, interesting fun fact. Thank you for that. Well, that's an interesting question, but I don't know if I could ever think of a tag team, Black Bolt. Best tag team to never win the tag team titles. Your pick is Benoit and Guerrero. They were a team, yeah, but how long were they really a team? So, like, what constitutes a tag team? Like, somebody that teamed up just for a couple of weeks? Does that make them a tag team? Best, like, team that was an actual team, I'm probably going to have to go back to the 80s. Because there was actual teams there. I think about the Killer Bees. I think they were good enough to be tag team champions. The Islanders, fucking Haku and Tama, definitely could have been tag team champions. Who else? I'm surprised they never put the belts on the Powers of Pain. Very surprised in that. Sheik and Volkov had them, but the Bolsheviks did not. Can-Am, Strikeforce had them, but Can-Am's did not. Enzo and Cass, hell no. Rockers, technically, yes. Rockers would probably be my number 1 choice, although technically they did win them. They just got stripped or got unacknowledged. And Orient Express, yeah, totally. All right, let's have, why not? Sunday night, I'm off tomorrow. Let's have another beer. Be right back. What else are we going to talk about tonight? It's y'all's night. It's a hangout. I don't even know what to say as far as a review for Backlash goes. I'll talk about it in episode 498 on Thursday. But aside from that, I mean, Jesus, what a letdown. I spent all this time on this beautiful overlay, and they don't even give me a pay-per-view, a good pay-per-view to review. No, I didn't spend much time on it. 30 minutes. But I specifically wanted AJ Styles' fist to be going right into Shinsuke's face. I thought that would look funny. I think I succeeded. Who were the real Americans? Who were they? You mean Cesaro and... So I forgot who the fucking real Americans were. We're still talking about tag teams? Yeah, RVD. That's the thing. A lot of those random pairings, RVD and Mysterio, or some of those short-term tag teams. I'm not even going to remember. Cody and Sandow, I'd be down with that. You're talking about modern times, like if I'm thinking about the best tag team, like a team that I remember as being a team, not two singles wrestlers thrown together, but a team. I'm gonna be thinking of the '80s. I'm gonna thinking about Killer Bees. I'm gonna think about the Can-Ams, Islanders, Powers of Pain. I mean, hell, even the Body Donnas held the fucking tag team titles. So once you got into modern times, all the teams were champions. They all got runs. Godwin's, all those guys. But back in the 80s, you had such a big tag team division, they couldn't all be champs. So you had some teams that didn't win the belts. Rockers, Orient Express. I'm surprised Crime Time never won the tag team titles. I thought they did. Crime Time. Oh, you know what? Now that we're a couple hours in, I will definitely talk about Cobra Kai. I've been putting that off a lot. And Kyle, you're my age, so I don't know if that show touched you the way it did me. But there was one, I swear I watched it with, there was a couple nights, I just sunk into my chair. It was so great. I didn't have any, I just finished my last episode, and I watched all 10 episodes in 2 nights. And I just sat here. A couple times I was just like this. Like, I was just so, like, there's a couple really, like, moments that were just dripping with nostalgia. And I loved it. And I think it was the end of episode 5 when the music kicked in. Dude, it nearly wrecked me. I'm serious. Like, I was just like, like, Karate Kid was a big part of my childhood. I've told the story before of how important the movie was. I told it months ago. My cousin and I, like, how important that was to us, and I've been talking with him about it. He hasn't seen it yet. I'm like, dude, you got to see it. Like, you might cry. And he's a complete massage therapist hippie. He's currently in Thailand. He doesn't even have a phone, computer, internet, nothing. So there's no way for him to see this. But I'm like, dude, when you run across one of these devices called a cell phone, a TV, an iPad, something like that, when you see one of these contraptions, pull up Cobra Kai and watch it. It's a damn good show. I mean, I was just a kid when Karate Kid came out, and I liked the lesson of the Karate Kid because I was in school at the time, and I saw bullies, and I could relate to the movie. And the movie taught the lesson and sent the message of you have to stand up for yourself. You have to. Even if you're overmatched, you have to stand up for yourself. You earn the respect of your enemy. They're not going to be your enemy anymore. Simple premise. And they kind of they continued that in the Cobra Kai series, but this time they told the story through the eyes of Johnny Lawrence, who was Daniel's nemesis in the first movie. And it made him the sympathetic character. He had a lot of sympathy. He was down on his luck. He was damn near homeless. He was jobless. He had no money. He had no nothing. He was a drunk alcoholic. The first fucking episode, he's driving around in his Firebird, in his Pontiac Firebird, drinking bourbon. Drinking and driving, right there in the first episode. And he just really just down on his luck. The roles reversed. In the Karate Kid movie in '84, Daniel was the shithead kid from Jersey, living in Southern California, living in a shitty area of Reseda, which is not far from me at all. And Johnny was the privileged kid with the rich parents and all of that. Now the roles are reversed. Daniel has got the car dealerships and a hot wife and a family and millions of dollars. Johnny hasn't got a pot to piss in, and he's a drunk. And it's kind of just an interesting take on it, you know? And I always wanted to know what happened to Johnny and everything, you know? At the beginning of the second movie, his sensei is choking him out, and, you know, we never saw him again. Daniel had different enemies during the next couple of movies. So, you know, for me as a kid and my one cousin, we used to have little karate tournaments. We would have full-blown, full-contact, ass-kicking sessions. And he's my brother. I love him like a brother. We're still incredibly close to this day. And we would watch Karate Kid together. We would go in our basement. You know, if we were at his house or my house, we both had basements. We'd go in our basement, we'd put on our karate outfits, and we would beat the shit out of each other. Beat each other senseless. I can't tell you how many split lips and bloody noses I had from us literally having karate tournaments in the basement. And we adopted Mr. Miyagi's style, and no matter what happened and no matter how hurt we got, we remained respectful. We loved each other. You know, so he would fucking break my jaw, and at the end we'd bow, and it was just fucking crazy. We were insane. Just crazy kids. I learned how to take a punch because of him. But watching this shit 34 years later, for somebody like me, you know, that show's not going to translate to anybody that doesn't remember the Karate Kid and how important it was to pop culture back in the day. And I thought, you know, all the little subtle references. I mean, there was just such little subtle throwbacks to the show. Just throwaway lines. You know, one of Johnny's students is complaining, and he's like, "This is not a knitting class." And that was like a very famous phrase from the first movie. This is a karate dojo, not a knitting class. And they had so many different little one-liners like that about the movie that I really liked. The little throwbacks to it and stuff was amazing. So I thoroughly enjoyed Cobra Kai, and it ushered in a new era of like young kids kind of going through the same thing that Johnny and Daniel did. Made both characters sympathetic. A lot of twists and turns along the way. I liked it, and it made me sad that I don't watch more TV shows, because I know if I enjoyed this as much as I did, there's probably a shitload of other TV shows that I would enjoy if I would just watch them, but I don't. Yeah, the body bag line and the first Karate Kid. I mean, and I liked in Cobra Kai. I loved there was more than one reference. I think I counted 3 references to the Rocky movies, because John Avildsen directed Karate Kid and Rocky. They're really the same exact movie, if you think about it. They're very much the same movie. And it was right near, I think it was like near the end of the series, like episode 9 or something. And finally, and it just warmed my heart to see this, finally Daniel and Johnny bonded. Johnny gets his car burned. Daniel's wife convinces him to give him a car. They go searching through the lot to give Johnny a car. And he's being a dick. He's like, "You got one of these in black, motherfucker." And then finally they pick out the car. They go driving around in it and agree to go to a bar. And Daniel at first like gets a club soda. And Johnny's like, "Give me a beer." And then they talk. They bond in the car over Ario Speedwagon. Then they get in the bar and they're sitting there. They still fucking hate each other. And then finally they say something. Johnny says something that Daniel can relate to, and he's like, "You know what? Get me a martini." Next thing you know, they have like 5 rounds. They're wasted. And they go back to Daniel's house, and they're going to fight. They're going to fight in Daniel's dojo. And they're walking to the dojo, and Johnny's like, "You know what?" He's like, "It's like the end of Rocky 3, when Apollo and Rocky fight each other. That's what we're going to do." And then they never got a chance to fight, because they walk in there, and the kid is there, and it's the twist and swerve and all that. But it was like so cool. I just like loved watching all that shit. I always thought Daniel and Johnny could be cool with each other. I see a lot of myself in both of them. And from a nostalgia point of view, I really liked Cobra Kai. And Kyle and anybody else that's in here that's my age, I think you can probably relate. So there you go. There's my opinions on Cobra Kai finally, since I've been teasing it for the past 2 hours and 44 minutes. So are we going to go back to Backlash, or are we done with that shitty pay-per-view? What else do you want to talk about before I get out of here? because we are going 3 hours in, and I got to be up here tomorrow night to do my Raw stream. I'm gonna check our audience and check our shit here. All right, so we still have 165. Man, nobody liked this pay-per-view tonight. Our likes are low, our views are low.
Go back to Backlash.
Oh, shit, shut up, Greg. Everything's low. So yeah, this was not a good pay-per-view, and very few people gave a shit about it, obviously. So, I'll finish this beer and I'll get out of here. What else do you want to talk about before I go? What conspiracies do I believe in? None. None at all. Yeah, don't worry about going back and watching this pay-per-view. My advice to everybody that did not see Backlash, watch the first match. Watch Miz versus Seth Rollins and enjoy that because it was magical. Other than that, fucking turn it off and read the results. Like, really not much else to talk about there. Oh, yeah, so Terry, the funny thing is, Sir Joseph, in Cobra Kai, Terry Silver did get a shout out in the movie. Cobra Kai, I guess, got banned because of what happened in Karate Kid Part 3 from the tournament. So Johnny is there to try to get them reinstated, and they're like, well, they were banned due to the behavior of Terry Silver and John Kreese, the first sensei. And Johnny's like, I don't even know who the fuck Terry Silver is. Like, and he doesn't. He wasn't the bad guy in that third one. And then he said Kreese was dead, which was interesting. So I wasn't sure the whole time I was watching the series. I'm like, am I watching the final episode that there's ever going to be, or is there going to be a season 2? So we see the whole thing, the final episode, the tournament and everything, and then the final scene throws a crazy twist that basically tells you we're getting a season 2. So I'm really excited. But it turns out Kreese is not dead. And I fucking hated him. And I don't know how I feel about him being in this series without Mr. Miyagi, because Pat Morita has passed away. And Kreese was Pat Morita's bitch. So I'm curious to see where that goes in the story. I don't really have thoughts on Omega Okada 4 other than I'm excited for it. So I don't really have thoughts on it. There's no opinions to really give yet. We haven't seen the match, but I'm ready for it. I can't wait to see it. I'm not sure about when the Undisputed Era will get called up to the main roster. Probably not anytime that soon. I think maybe it could be before WrestleMania, but I could definitely see it being next year. I think they'll hang out in NXT for a while. Like I said, no rush with a lot of these guys. You don't want to deplete NXT either, because NXT is such an awesome brand. So I'd like to keep a lot of talent there. I mean, there's a lot of talent that I think are better in NXT than the main roster. So with some of them, I'm like, hell, keep them there. In a lot of cases, they might be better off. Good night, Mac. Tonight, you're going to bed? Yeah, if you guys are on the East Coast, you're looking at 2:15 in the morning right now. I still got to make some dinner. So I'll be up for a while. Man, if Terry Silver shows up in Season 2, that will blow my mind. Because Karate Kid 3 was kind of viewed as like the shittiest movie of the three. It had kind of lost its luster by then. It was still an okay movie. And Terry Silver makes that movie because he was a great actor. But what I found crazy about that movie is that Ralph Macchio when that movie was filmed in 1993 or whatever the fuck it was, he was older than Terry Silver. Ralph Macchio was like a lot older than we think. And he's like 60 years old now. So he was old in Karate Kid. Like, he was playing a high school kid, but I think he was in his 20s when they filmed Karate Kid. So by the time they get to Karate Kid Part 3, which was like nearly 10 years later, he was older than his fucking nemesis, his teacher in the movie. But I don't even know who the actor was. I don't know his name. I don't know what he's been doing since then. But he was a sadistic son of a bitch in Part 3. So if they brought him in to the series, I'd be fine with that. But I think eventually there's got to be a redemption thing for Johnny, because it kind of ended a little shady there at the end. And everybody's trying to like him. And I thought for sure he was going to wind up hooking up with the kid's mom, because she was smoking hot. Very beautiful woman. And she was a single mom. So I thought for sure they would get together. And if they do, that means the two kids that fought in the finals will be brothers or stepbrothers. That might be interesting. So yeah, I'm hoping they carry the series on, because it was good. It was nice to watch it. I have not binged watched a show in my whole life. Like, I sat there and I watched every goddamn one of those episodes. Fucking marking out like a little fangirl. It was awesome. Yeah, Ralph looked young as shit, but he wasn't. That was the craziest thing about it. I don't know, Bear Senpai. I mean, when it comes to guys like that, when it comes to anybody on the NXT roster that's going to eventually move to the main roster, what their success, how successful they are, to me, just purely depends on WWE. You can't really speculate on something like that, because you never know what's going to crawl up the WWE's ass. Like, look at a guy like Rusev. We all expected Rusev to be a huge player in WWE, and in many ways he is. He's had a prominent spot on TV for the past, 3-4 years now. But still, he gets shit on a lot, and there's all these rumors of him having ridiculous backstage heat for no reason at all. So you never know. Like, you can predict, on paper, EC3 looks like he'll go far. But if he pisses off WWE for any reason behind the scenes, then that whole thing can go right out the window. So you just don't know. These days, it's so hard to tell. Your potential and your ability does not automatically translate into success. You can be the most talented guy in the world and get shit on by WWE. So it's just all a matter of who they like and who they don't like. But I see EC3 being a character similar to The Miz. He's very cocky, full of himself, very arrogant. And he'll probably portray that type of role when he gets to the main roster. Edwin, you miss nothing, brother. Don't worry about it. Don't even watch Backlash. Show was garbage. Total garbage. That's some interesting facts there. What's going on out there? Did you hear that? I don't know what that was. That's another good question. I don't know if there's any chance of Dash and Dawson recovering. I kind of thought they were going to go over to SmackDown in the shakeup. But they're on Raw, so I don't know. I think with tag teams, yeah, they can recover. All they need to do is all of a sudden start winning matches on TV, and there you go. You're recovered. Give them a title match, give them the belts, give them a serious run, a couple victories over the top teams on Raw, then yeah, sure. But hell, with the Bar gone and Gallows and Anderson gone, who the hell is on the Raw tag team division anyway? We got Matt and Bray as the champs. We got Breezango there. Ascension is there. Who else the fuck is there? Rhino and Slater, they don't count. I don't know. Thank you for drop kicking that like Dat Wrestling podcast. I'm guessing that means you have a podcast, so Y'all go to subscribe to him. Yeah, I've seen Air Force One with Harrison Ford. That's a good movie. I liked it. Who's the villain in that? Gary Oldman, right? He was an asshole in that movie. What an asshole. He plays a good asshole. He really does. It's a bit unrealistic. Can you imagine our current president being in that situation? You think he'd fight like that? Hell no. I mean, any president for that matter. I mean, Harrison Ford was a badass in that movie. If it was Clinton, he'd be like, all right now, just a minute. Can I get a blowjob instead? That would be better. And then if it was Bush, I don't want to fight you. Not gonna die. And then if it was Bush Jr., he'd be like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. You can't get fooled again. Obama would probably kick their asses. Harrison Ford has good movies. I never saw any of the Star Wars movies, though, but I liked Air Force One. I also liked the Indiana Jones, and there was another one that he was in that I thought was good. Fugitive. I like Fugitive. That was a remake. That was good. There's another one, too, where, I don't know, his wife dies or something, and then she cheats on him. I forgot the name of that one. But I never saw him as, like, Han Solo and shit. I agree. This pay-per-view should have been scrapped. Backlash was pointless. No reason to have the show tonight. We didn't see anything. Got nothing out of it. Wrestlers went out there and killed themselves for no reason. Just a throwaway show. Fuck it. I like the Last Crusade. That was a funny movie with Connery and and Harrison Ford. I thought they were a good pairing. I'm surprised they didn't do that more often. Sean Connery played this bumbling, stumbling old man in Indiana Jones. That's a poll I should have put up on my on Twitter. I should have asked you guys what you like better, Backlash or the Greatest Royal Rumble. You guys tell me here. Because they both kind of sucked, right? Or at least everybody thought they sucked. It's a little too late in the night to put up a poll. Nobody will vote on it. Or not enough people will. So far, out of the 200 or so votes we got, 47% mayonnaise. That was Backlash. 5% enjoyed it. 25% hated it. 23% thought it was okay. Yeah. Shitty. Shitty overall. Yeah, I mean, imagine the people that paid 50, 60 bucks for the Greatest Royal Rumble or for Backlash tonight. Yikes. So Greatest Royal Rumble was better overall. I'm agreeing with that. I definitely think Greatest Royal Rumble was better overall easily. Because, I mean, the Brock and Roman match itself, I mean, even that bump at the end and that finish, I thought AJ and Shinsuke had a good match despite the finish. I thought the ladder match was awesome. Tonight, all we had going for us was the IC match with Seth and Miz. Other than that, we had nothing. We had literally nothing. Yeah, nothing, right? You gonna walk over here or what? We're gonna be signing off here in a minute. I'm just about done with this beer, and I think I'm gonna sign off until tomorrow. Because we are about 3 hours in now. I think that's a good enough time to call it a night. What's our audience? Well, it depends on how many people are in here.
We had nothing. We had literally nothing.
Oh, we had 150. What's going on? 150 people. Smash that like button. Likes are low as shit tonight. 120. We can do better. But yeah, tonight was one of those pay-per-views, man. I could have skipped this one and been just fine. Yeah, I agree. That's what I just said. AJ and Nakamura's match I thought was much better at the Rumble. All right, peace out. How Wheezy? I'm right behind you. We're going to go ahead and get out of here now. Thanks, guys, for hanging out tonight. We are exactly 3 hours in according to the stream time here, but it's probably going to turn out to be a little bit longer than 3 hours. So thanks for hanging out, talking about Backlash. Sorry it was a shitty show tonight, but hey, what can you do? If you guys want to join me tomorrow night, I'll be up here. I'll live stream Monday Night Raw. We'll do a watch-along, talk about the show, hang out, and have a good old time. So you guys take care. Have a good rest of your evening, and I will catch you tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw. Should be fun. Peace.